anybody else in Oakland who would want to come here to this lecture today, but just in case there is, we're going to need a little space right over there. I'm not giving up that space right there because if there's trouble, I don't want to be shooting over nobody. That way ain't like we're going to be running over nobody. We ain't going to fumble or stumble over nobody. We just don't want to get no confusion like, don't put it too far in because I don't want them to fill that space in. All right, there we go. All right, Africans, I appreciate you. I got to talk a little bit yesterday at Sister's bookstore. Sister, what's the name of that bookstore again? Did we mention you today? Yeah, that's right. That's at your place on? At? What day? Brother, too. We got to ride a little bit together. Sometimes when the brothers who are out sharing with other brothers get a chance to see or work together, we have some very, and they're excessively effective. And they're not getting any pub from white folk. Because we've been 10 years begging for economic sanctions in November, December, and January. And finally in Cincinnati it's come across the line. And we have literally shut down white Cincinnati. Nobody black gets involved in somebody white in Cincinnati because the people have spoken. And we've had some people to break away last night. Frankie Beverly and the Isleys performed. And I got a real unhappy feeling about that, you know, because the week before, when I was in Cincinnati, much of the boycott leaders went up to Indianapolis for the Black Expo where Frankie Beverly was, and they begged upon this brother not to come, and he, in fact, wouldn't even meet with the boycotters. What he did was to get in his trailer for 3.5 hours and figuring out that they weren't going to leave at 3:25 in the morning with sisters and their babies and brothers and their brothers, that they weren't going to go away. He had the bus pull up to the trailer so he could jump out the trailer and into the bus. And we were deeply disgusted. Isley, who honored the boycott a year ago, came this time because he had been sold that everything was okay. And what's really unfortunate is that out of the 18,000-seat arena, out of 18,000 seats, they didn't sell but 1,200 tickets. That's a problem. They give them a hand. Because that's the first time somebody tried to break the boycott. And we say, you can go on and break it. But it don't mean the people going to show and you're going to take a loss. On Tuesday, Mary J. Blige was supposed to be there. Last Thursday in Cincinnati, I was in a boycott meeting, and they announced that the concerts that were coming up, and that Mary J. Blige was coming on Tuesday. This was Thursday. She was coming on Tuesday. And they didn't know how to reach her, and what's been in awe of them is how they've been able to reach the people who are the entertainers to give them a chance to decide if they want to cross the boycott. And Smokey Robinson, the OJs, the Temptations, Wynton Marsalis, Prince, all the Jay-Z and the little rappers, Wycliffe, Bill Cosby started it off. Even Whoopi Goldberg honored the boycott. And wrote a letter, wrote a letter in support of it. The whites were clever. After the blacks refused to come, the whites begged them for money. The white mayor begged them for money so that they could, in fact, pay for the attorneys of a lawsuit on police brutality. And she and Cosby wrote an intense letter about the audacity of them to ask for them to pay for the victims, when in fact the city's liable. And if you notice what happened, Cosby being the first one, now the word is out on Cosby from the white side. He's incoherent. He's unreliable. He's rambling on stage. Y'all hear that? That's not about Cosby. That's about the boycott. That whites are now going to retaliate against blacks for crossing it. So we did get to Mary J. Blige. One of my friends, I don't know if you all saw Oprah Winfrey. They had a little sister on. They had the Genius Children. There was a little sister on from Atlanta, has a magazine called Black Girl. And Jordana, and her and her mother were there at the Oprah show. She put a magazine out for young children, and it's her mother who is responsible for handling Mary J. Blige. So we were able to reach Sister Karen. She was able to get to Mary J. Blige, and she once informed of the boycott, say, hey, I have no more drama from me, I'm not going. And so that was a powerful thing. She's under pressure now. She's under pressure now, as I got the call this morning, she's under pressure now from her company about liability for missing the engagement. But as a result of last night, out of 1,200 seats, and half of them were white people, that it now is clear to the promoters of her program that it would not have succeeded even if she had come. Them showing up is one thing. Black people not showing up is the second thing. The Urban League tried to violate the boycott. They announced they were coming to Cincinnati for the convention next year. They're in L.A. right now. They're in L.A. right now, and they announced in a fit of arrogance, F the boycott, we're going to go into Cincinnati and teach the blacks in Cincinnati how to get along with whites. And then the main little Negro assistant chief had a car accident. He got suspended without pay, had his badge taken away, and his gun. There have been 15 murders of young black males in Cincinnati, which resulted in a violent rebellion last April, not this April, but last April before 9/11. And in that rebellion, the little African children in Cincinnati whipped the head of every white person that they could physically grab. They jumped in front of cars, stopped the cars. They went to buildings and grabbed people and pulled them to the street. The amount of hatred that had been built up in the children was directly responsible for them being disrespected. There wasn't one leader in Cincinnati who had the credibility to tell them to stop. And they operated without one single leader. And they mopped the town up. And then whites came in with a curfew. On the black side, you couldn't be on the street, but in the white side, they was out there eating at outdoor cafes. Because the curfew was for Negro people. And that built up more frustration. So finally, the last Negro who supported Chief Stryker and Mayor Lucan and all them other hunkies up in Cincinnati finally got his day to be a nigger. In fact, when the chief called the sergeant a nigger, Twitty, the lieutenant colonel, highest ranking black, defended the white chief. Said, oh, it was just a training exercise, which it was actually not. And in fact, the brother and me and others fought for the brother to make the chief apologize to him. The chief beat his wife. He's got what do you call them, body attachments on. He stalked her, but he never got suspended. So the brother has a traffic accident in the police car, and he's suspended without pay and his badge taken. So that took away the last vestige of Negroism. Now everybody black in Cincinnati. Everybody black in Cincinnati. Now, can everybody get black in Oakland? Can everybody get black in San Francisco? Can we get black in L.A.? Can we get black in Inglewood? Where I was last week. The scene of the beating where the white man said he feared for his safety. That's why he banged the boy head on the car and beat him down like a fucking coward. And we challenged that white boy. You such a strong, you such a vicious, you such a badass white boy. Why don't you come out here? We went to the white boy house and hollered, bring your punk ass out. You such a badass white boy. You coward, you little sick coward. Why don't you come out here and fight a man? You can see him peeking through the curtains and shit. Just that sick shit. And for the brother who stood there and watched him. See, if you watch the Hispanic boy, he at least tried to grab his arm a little bit. But the brother, man, he didn't do shit. And hell for that brother. Because it's hell on that brother for passively having acquiesced with hatred. This is not a good day to be a white person. Like Brother X said, white people are dealing with the psychopathic condition of being hated by everyone. But this is not a hatred they did not earn. They have colonized and disrespected every population that they met. They code words, see a nigga, take his land. And they went out, even went to the wrong places, still called it where they thought they were going, but undoubtedly killed 140 million to get this one. So in the process of reparations, and let me just hold that one off for 1 minute, because that's coming up. But I have a funny feeling ain't gonna be no money by the time reparations. Say, woo, we owe y'all reparations, but we ain't got no more money. We'll get to that in a minute. So we really hope that you take a little time to pay attention outside of the final call. Whites are not propagating what's going on in Cincinnati. Urban League on Monday, Hugh Price, former president of Rockefeller Foundation, announces that he's coming to Cincinnati in spite of the boycott. Twitty gets knocked down Monday evening. He's demoted on Tuesday, and we put boycotts on the Chicago Urban League, the Detroit Urban League, the Cincinnati Urban League, and vowed to put boycotters on every urban league in this country. Now, the urban league got to decide, can you do that? What does that take? That means you have gone to those cities, found friends just like you, and at a call, hocus pocus dominocus, you in fact then go to that location and let them know we are everywhere they think they are. So when we whipped the first round of the boycotts on the urban league, they threw in the towel. The Chicago Urban League came to the steps and announced that they repudiate the National Urban League and say they won't go to Cincinnati under any circumstances. Then Detroit came out and said, we ain't gonna go either. Now Detroit got a 31-year-old black mayor, Kwame Kilpatrick, threw out all that little old guard Boule Archer stuff. 31-year-old black man, mayor of Detroit. Mama the congressman, had been a state senator himself at 26. So things are happening for our people under the current. Now, we got to deal with those who took the Jerry Brown bone. Jerry Brown is still a white. And because he's still a white, no matter how he act, what he say, or what his name is, he's still a hunky. Now that he's in mayor, he's proved his hunkyism. He's now fit to go places he wanted to go for hunkies, and they wouldn't let him because they thought maybe Brown was a little bit too lean. But now Brown is white. And he's going to use you to walk on top of your destiny to show other whites he's fit for change. But he don't have no better future than the other whites. Life for them has gotten deeply confusing. They've been inflicted by several diseases. One of them is the Tower of Babelism. As high and as strong and as powerful as they got. Now they can't seem to hear each other like they used to. They don't seem to be able to understand as they operate together that they, in fact, are becoming more ineffective and different spats have developed. They went and handcuffed some white people last week so other white people could see they mean business about the missing white money. White people have shammed other white people out of $7 trillion. Since 2000 to 2002, white folks have lost $7 trillion just on the stock market. We asked for economic sanctions. This economic sanctions on white businesses, hotels down 30 to 40%. Manufacturing shut down, waiting for better seasons. All across the country, white economics have taken a downturn. Airports, it's all across the country. LAX, there's a big story. LAX down 20%. Because people don't want to fly because sitting next to a white person is hazardous to your health. Southwest is giving away tickets from Oakland to LA for $20. The cost of 2 Copley tapes, you can fly to LA. Hold on, it'll be $4. They're going to have 99-cent specials, DC to LA. Because whites need confidence in the system. That's the whole thing that kept it together was confidence. We talked about it when I was here before. They go to Congress, and they get confidence, and they just run that con game all over the neighborhood. But the bubble done busted on white supremacy. Now, God was waiting on us a long time to kick white people in the ass, but God figured out, Captain, that we wasn't going to do it. No matter how many of you and sister and brother and everybody else there were still more of us who thought that they were compelled to work every day. And to pay for the things that whites were charging at more than it was worth. And that they were stuck and couldn't get out of taking care of the children and feeding the car and taking care of the house and paying the rent. And so we got compelled by the moment of the day. So God said, damn, I'm going to have to help them out. I'll take care of some of this. So now we look up and we find that white, boy, they got warnings of every sort. Don't go on the bridge. Right here, the government got scared. Thought Bush was setting them up. Now, Bush wanted to destabilize California because Bush didn't win California election, and he's a cheap, trashy-ass, piss-ass punk honky, and because of that, he sabotaged the energy here. Enron sat behind the president's office and said, we jacking up California. We're going to take down the governor and anybody else because we're going to make California like us. In Florida, the people who were filing ballots for nomination, flying their plane in to have it accepted by the state capitol, had the damn plane crash. Pilots are safe, but the nomination petitions are all burned up. All them people going against Bush. They ain't got no, because the Bushes are violent. They're
history of killing people. Why did the Bushes get a dynasty and the Kennedys couldn't? Because the Bushes were violent, and they fought and murdered and lied and CIA'd and doped their way into power. Now, what is the destiny of such a home? Don't you worry about whether the Red Sea apart. Just make sure you at the shore. What will you have faith in? Their destiny is not yours. You are only in trouble when you're standing close to them. White folks nowadays walk up on you. When you're at your job, ask the white people how they feel about losing their 401k. And cry if you bought one, because you had no business buying one. You had no business allowing your job to sell you their future. Because how are we going to have revolution when you waiting on pension? We can't have revolution if you waiting on reparations. So here we go again. Savings bonds. But all this has happened in just 2 years flat. 2000 to 2002. 911 was in 2001. The white economic shutdown was coming long before 911 came, but when it did came, it escalated the process. White folks got cancer. They are going to die. What will you do when white folks are gone? Are you ready for no more white folks? Have you decided who amongst you, who you will exalt in a temporary way until you can figure out how to govern yourselves? Can we handle our disputes now before our disputes become disputes between black states or black countries? 10 years ago, when we were talking about, they talking about all these AIDS and all the rest of that stuff. 10 years ago, they had the ethnic weapon. We were all worried about, now they're talking about dirty bomb. Now, 10 years ago, we were talking about ethnic weapon, that thing they could drop in the middle of people and it would only be attracted to people with melanin. See, they was whipping that on us. They whipped that AIDS thing. They been waiting and said, damn, we shot them niggas up with that shit. They ain't gone down yet. I mean, they expected the termination of the population by now so that they can find a refuge for themselves. And so now you got white folks creating polio in the laboratory. I don't remember nobody ordering polio. I don't remember anybody saying, you know what, give me 3 pounds of polio. I'm gonna have a barbecue so all my children can all walk crippled. But if you a dirty, nasty, stinking bastard, and you think one of those childs one day will raise up to knock you out of power, then you will cripple millions of children so that your child can live and reign over a group of handicapped people. Why would they even create polio? Didn't they fight all that time to kill it? Now here come 500,000 smallpox vaccinations. They're going to take the emergency response workers and shoot them up with a disease that's not in any human in the United States. Reinfecting the population in hopes that the population will be subdued so that whites could in fact reign over an incapable population. They can't walk, can't think, can't learn, can't cause no trouble. In fact, I showed this yesterday. This is the Economist magazine. Economist magazine come out with a, what do you call that, a cover. And their cover reflected their thoughts about white folks. I take this chair here. Okay, I can put it this way. All right, and I want to show you this cover of the Economist magazine. And I want to remind you that this Economist is a business magazine. In fact, the Economist is owned by the Rothschild family. There was an article, if you look it up, in May of 1980, magazine against me, stating that they're so glad they threw me out of government in Chicago, and whites are fearing. And the Economist is signaling that somebody who was working in this government knew a lot about rich white people and almost got close enough to government to make it go against rich white people. What you think about it? Doc, make sure that you tell me you got it in the camera. Okay? Because I'm going to show it to them, but I don't want you to miss it because that's the record. All right? Now, I was here about a year ago. I still ain't seen that thing. So I would hope I would make sure that the B is the page, UB is the 51. Not that one will have no lecture because I got last year's tape, but I guess I'm even a liar. But if you notice the Economist has an article on mind control. This is the last week of May of 2002. And in fact, there's a circle within a circle, which we call the dynamic of the white power structure, is a circle within a circle. And if you remember, I was here last. How many of you all were here at the last lecture? When I was at the school, Jim, what was that? The infirmary, right? We were talking about looking at circles within a circles on commercials and TV shows and ads, and it dominates that whole process of showing. Here it is, right in the third eye, distinctively white face, with mind control over it on a business magazine. I'll hold it up higher so it's in the back of the scene. No, this was last week of May, 2002. And the article basically said, well, white people, this is no time for thinking. You got to do what we say do. We're out of options. And so whites have moved to a new stage of white supremacy. Got green eyes, looking deeply comatose. Here's Time magazine, the Bible and the Apocalypse. Why more Americans are reading and talking about the end of the world. See, they want you to make that thing. That's all of us. That's just them. You should say the end of the white world. In fact, the article, the article has an interesting byline on it. In fact, a week before 9/11, there was an article out on Colin Powell said, "Odd Man Out," huge story on Time magazine about how Colin Powell was getting ready to get ousted by the other whites because they was going to put a white in that position. And then came to 9/11, and the next week was, "We love you, bruh, man." Because they needed somebody to go talk to the other people who were non-white. So here they go, Apocalypse Now. Now that was a movie. But now it's a reality. For the people who want to know, why do they hate us, meaning them? Apocalypse Now. Here's a cover from the, this is a cover from, let me even say this here, Hocus Pocus Dominocus. That's the code mean white folk coming. See, you might be working at a job where you're privy to something coming. Because, see, white folk gonna come. Because, you see, at a certain point, they're going to drop democracy. They're going to pull out the tanks. They're going to announce it as a dictatorship. They're going to say, what's up? And so we got to have a little code. You might be at a job where if you put that back in the phone, it might be incriminating, so you got to get a code. What's the code? Okay. Now, a fireman called me. He said, Hocus Pocus Dominocus coming express mail. So then this came, express mail. Emergency response to terrorism. Student manual. Anybody here firemen? That's dangerous. We need firemen everywhere we are. Got to be a couple of conscious black policemen. Now, there'll be some of them out there who got guns, a badge, and can do some things off duty when we need them. Firemen usually work a full day and off 2 days. You always need somebody who is working but got 2 days off. Every 1 day they work. Very, very powerful, very important entity. Like you got to have real estate. Like you got to have food delivery system. Like you got to have a military. You got to have a station to work from. All of these make a family or a team or a community or a unit. Once under attack, it becomes an army. It's just a name. So here's this manual. Federal Emergency Management Agency. Now that's the only agency in the last budget round that had double the money. They asked for so many billion and they got twice as much. Now why would they give emergency management twice the money? Because it's an emergency coming. So to be able to pull it off, and those ballots were impounded in Florida. During that 90-day period, it was the red versus the blue. They put those ballots in the emergency management centers all throughout Florida. That's where they held the ballots called safe place. Until they counted the chads. And y'all remember all of that? How that thing drug on for 90 days, the first time in the history of America, it took 90 days to count one state. So when I say that Bush is setting up a condition that will allow him to suspend indefinitely the 2004 presidential election, so when I say that Bush is setting up a condition that will allow him to suspend the 2004 election, remember that it took 90 days to count the last one. And under a war condition, the Bush can declare that the counting of the 911 had happened if Gore had won. No, it's just an interesting dilemma. Would it have happened if that had happened? Hey, you heard what Gore said. He said, hey, ballot fraud for one. I'm a white guy. I'm going to Harvard. The problem about what happened with white guys. White guy did to me. I'm a white guy. I'm safe forever. I'm a white guy. So he's going to white his way back. That's a whole nother thing. But notice the cover of this. Training manual. You see the Twin Towers in New York, and you see a target right at the point of one of the towers. That in fact is where the first plane went. This manual was produced in 1997, 4 years before the event. So how is it and why is it that whites, because in fact Bin Laden and the rest of them had in fact worked with the whites. Most of those camps that they bombed in Afghanistan, America paid for in the first place. There are a lot of books, right? No question. I said yesterday, Osama bin Laden worked for the CIA. Whatever it is, whatever he does that may impact us, he still worked with the same hunters we fight. What's on today's show? Oakland paper, front page. FBI leadership knew that FBI in Boston used hitmen and informants to make innocent people go to jail. They, all the way up to the top, white folks knew that the wrong people were going to jail. Now, what did that say for justice? And them was all about white people. It wasn't even about us. I'm going to pass this around. You might want to look at it. It's got a lot of stuff in it. A lot of little things they do. I imagine if you try to read all of it, nobody gets to look at it. So we'll see how it passed. All right. No, Baba, they stole that. Hocus pocus dominocus. You can't order nothing like that. Our best information we ever got, we stole. Boule ritual book, Boule history book. We got a lot of good information. We stole this information. Boule roster. Yes, ma'am. I could. I will at some time. But at the end of that, ain't nothing gonna happen. It just be that we saw it, somebody squeeze some money together, it looked like the Twin Towers burning up. Then you squeeze together another way and it looked like the Pentagon burning up. I'm just glad that it happened. And that somebody found it on the 20th. Maybe it's a code, maybe it's 20 days or 20 months, or maybe it's something about the 20. Maybe on the 20 say hocus pocus dominocus. Maybe we flip it one more time, we see the fall of America. Right? Now, one thing I want to show, there's a map over here, and I need you, Brother Richard. You can see there's an unclassified document. It's a spot photograph of Washington, D.C. Now, one of the things I said, the white folks have perpetrated a false sense of security. In other words, they want other white folks to believe that they're safe and secure as a result of the things they have done in 911. Don't forget, let me go back to the governor and the bridges and the rest of that. So here's a map. Because, see, I've been out talking about white folks making people out. Here, Reagan National right there, the Pentagon right there, the plane to respond is way over there. How is that plane going to get in between here and there? Impossible. you should see white folks falling all over each other, running out of the State Department, running out of the White House, not even knowing where to run. Now, I'll show you how messed up white folks are. This is what they did. Anybody ever seen the Washington Monument? Now, white folks love that thing. They don't want nothing to happen to that. They board it up, shut it down, put barricades around it. Because I think if that thing ever fell, white folks just evaporate shit. Now, they just so into that thing. 555 feet tall, represents the number 15. That's the devil in the terror deck. They even got Team 55 over in Afghanistan, their main special forces fighting unit. And look at the curse on the special forces. They coming home killing their wives. That's what they do. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. I knew they weren't going to do it. But I thank you for doing it. That's the Tower of Babel theory. They are inflicted with that. They cannot help themselves. Do not look to them for change. Look to each other. Start looking each other in the eyes. Start feeling each other on another level. Take another chance with each other. Something we just got to do for ourselves. Because the other ones don't deserve anything from us, let alone our respect. Because if we don't respect them, we wouldn't even give them our money and all other things that we do in the process of defrauding our own destiny. So, here we go. White folks sitting up, ain't got no way to protect themselves. And now, we talked about this a couple of years ago, seeing that the day would come where whites were putting out movies and everything, where black people was going to come and rescue white people when they got in trouble. Every time they had one of them movies, always somebody black got to save somebody white. Even last night, the hand that rocked the cradle, the damn idiot walking around going to save the family. Because that's what black people are for. Think white people is to save them when they get in trouble. So the day they call you, make sure you're busy. Because you don't have time. You cannot save them. They cannot be redeemed or reformed. Don't allow nobody to tell you that that's going to happen, because it just is never going to happen. It just can't happen. So you got white folk trying to resolve for themselves the fact that when 911 came and they came all running out of those buildings, falling and tripping over each other, that Washington Monument is the mall there. Smithsonian's are around there on both sides. And you got all that grass, right? You got 14th Street and 2 blocks over 16th. Every 2 blocks, there's a crossway to go across the mall. Well, them white folks all running from the stuff burning down, jumped in their cars, and all got stuck in traffic. In other words, the white people were dying to run from what they thought was an attack on everything, and they got in their cars and got stuck in traffic. And not one single white person drove up on the curb and drove through the grass to get home. That suggests to me that white folks are so orderly that even in death they will die before they get frantic enough to save their own life. They sit for hours stuck in a car. One more inch up the curb, they could drive across the grass for miles. Now, one hunky got out of order. The traffic light said red, the hunky stopped, even under attack. So in a strategy, hocus pocus, dominocus, all the lights turn red. You heard us talk years before, don't let no red light stop sign standing in the middle of nowhere stop your ass, because that's mind control. So a lot of times when I go to these cities, people will drive me around, here come the red light. Now, hopefully be messing with people who get dominated by red, yellow, green. So everybody want to show me they want to drive through the red light. No, brother, not yet. Not yet. Not today. You got the right, I know you would do it. You don't have to prove it to me. Because I should ask, that's what they used against us when we were trying to take it down in New York. Now, I'm just going to read you a couple of these lines to deal with white folk thinking at this critical moment in a way that we can pick up on their psychology. Now, one of the things I wanted to talk about today was about the spy system in the post-911. What it is that America has done as a result of these changing circumstances that in fact have violated what they call freedom, but have in fact put restrictions on people who didn't do that. See, it's very likely everybody will be on lockdown, and who's ever coming will get here scot-free. Because everybody else on lockdown, and whites have a false sense of security. So let's walk through a couple of these things here. FBI probes scuba dive schools. They went to all of the airplane schools. They went to all of the scuba schools. Here we go. Here's another one. Though Americans acknowledge the need for security, more are growing tired of searches and barriers. Here's a white guy at the airport with his arms out. Now, one thing white folks hate more than anything is being called to the side. You're at the airport. You got to go through security. Take off your shoes. Take off your hat. Empty your pocket. I said, I take my pants down. I ain't wearing no drawers. And so that's how you keep your pants on. Then you get down to the deck. You get down to where you go board the plane. And now it's a new group of people over there putting on gloves and shit, looking at the people waiting to get on the plane. Trying to figure out who they gonna call over to the side to have them take their shit down, open everything up. Because now there are new people, white people, and they're over there looking at people on board the plane when you gonna get pulled. Anybody ever flown to 911? Anybody ever on that plane to 911? All right, y'all know that crew I'm talking about, the ones that are where you board at. Well, you're liable for one more search here. And they start that process of trying to decide who they gonna pick. And they be looking at people be trying to look like they ain't up to nothing. You know, they look over at them, smile at them, you know, they still looking at them. But when they call white folks over, all white folks are this. Why you call me over? Don't you know I'm white? Now, I'll tell you, I was on one flight. I'll tell you what airlines was, Southwest Airlines. I watched a group of black people, 7 of them, who were the searchers, sit there and go, which of these companies we gonna get? And they didn't touch it. One black searcher. And they must have called over 30 companies. Let me see. Open it up. What you got? I tell you. But I think white folks, because now they done federalized some of them positions. So at BWI, where everybody was down there Ethiopian, when I get to the thing, Bro Coakley, they come to elect everything. Bro Coakley in the airport, man. Here come the people off the loading deck. Here come the screeners. Here come the people who's cleaning the washroom. Bro Coakley going out, because I give him tase, we talk, right on the corridor. All black. Now BWI, first airport to go federal, all white. Every single person working there was white. Not one black. Now. But then whites are right. They can't trust us. Can't trust me. Probably can't trust you. So they have tried to readjust. Okay, here we go. So there's a white guy standing there getting searched. Siege mentality, testing patience. It's a psychology. All right, I'll take the book away if we can't work it out then. Get into another role. That's why I passed it, just to see how we doing. All right. Group says U.S. abusing rights in terror war. Bush administration with thousands of controversial detentions is showing other nations that, quote, anything goes. All right? This is, I started reading the article, May 29, 2002, LA Times. And actually, you can find any of these same articles in any of your papers because they reflect white psychology. I don't care what city I'm in, I'll find the same article. Like in D.C., police will put focus on cyclists and crosswalkers. You see? They ain't chasing dope dealers no more. They ain't even chasing murder. Even FBI said, we ain't chasing dope, we ain't chasing murder, we ain't chasing pornography, we chasing terrorists. That's an interesting drama. Evolution. So now here in D.C., now they got police standing on corners stopping people on bicycles and walking and jaywalking. Because they done took the police thing all the way down. They done put surveillance videos up all over D.C. It'll be the first town that'll be totally under surveillance. Found out they don't have any rules for surveillance, so they came out with, just because you're black, we're not going to look at you in the video. In fact, if you're black, it's likely we'll turn away from you because we don't want a racial profile. Well, I'd be damned if all of this wasn't about that in the first place. What was going on before 911? There was a world conference on racism. And the racists didn't want to talk about it. Here they go, everybody going to South Africa, and the white man said, slavery? I ain't talking about no slavery. I ain't done no slavery. Reparations? If I didn't do slavery, what I'm going to pay you niggas for? Oh, they said that. Well, I was in the meeting with Congresswoman McKinney and
that particular context. There's some change in one of those boxes, sister, if you need it. All right. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate you. All right. So in that context, you know, whites are deeply adjusted. How safe are we? CIA is getting more money and support, but an essential question looms: how safe are they? Just got this picture, all these white folks running across the bridge in New York when the bomb came. I mean, just stumbling and tripping and falling over each other. Some white folks walked home from Manhattan to Brooklyn because they couldn't get home no other way. That's some heavy stuff when you make them have to walk. July 4th in Washington, D.C., the annual fireworks concert presidential celebration. Oh, big time. Low attendance. Low attendance. And all in D.C. we said, don't go down to the mall. It's a white affair. Added precautions. This is June 30th, right before July 4th in D.C. Washington Post. Added precautions to bring forth security. Measures for celebration to include closed metro stations, blocked roads, searches at checkpoints. Very good thing. Stop the whites. Precautions to bring forth security. F-O-R-T-H, F-O-U-R-T-H. Context. Who's the top cop in America? Who technically is the top cop in America? Ashcroft. Very good, sisters. Ashcroft. Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. How did he become that? There you go, Richard. The goddamn Ashcroft lost an election to a dead man. Couldn't beat the dead man. Couldn't beat the man dead. Ashcroft couldn't beat him in his own state. So he got rewarded with Attorney General. So his shit is fraudulent anyway. He ain't got a consensus even in his own neighborhood, which is why he's so brutally ugly to other people. Just a real country punk-ass sham. Couldn't beat a dead man in a Senate election. So in sympathy, they gave him Attorney General. You see, that's last day type of action. He probably gonna be the last Attorney General. I was just in L.A. a couple of weeks ago, and they had a big article. They training L.A. police in suicide bombing. Now that's some deep stuff. Why would they be training the L.A. Police Department in suicide bomb training? There you go, sister. In fact, it's more South Africans in L.A. than any other city in America. A lot of them South Africans was white people in the Jewish religion. So here we go. The L.A. Police Department flies to where to get training on suicide bombing? Where? Israel. Thank you. So the L.A. Police Department go to Israel to be trained in preventing suicide bombing. What do that tell you? It's here. That's one. And what else? Somebody else, I think, said it back here. I just missed you. That's true, but two. What is that going to tell you? Is it Israelis or is it really are training them? Okay, she's right. They train them in School of America. My point on it is, you ever seen is it real stop a suicide bomb? No. That's what I'm saying. It's my point. The L.A. Police Department and the other police departments are getting training from people who are not successful. It is very likely, because they've been trained by one who don't know no better, that you can count on that shit popping. Because they get trained by one who can't stop it. You stop it by being fair to the population. They ain't got it. They think you stop it because you got 8 guns. Or you got some see-through-your-clothes vision stuff. And let me tell you something. Thank God for the little Palestinians who decided that they would sacrifice their life to let a hunky know that they would sacrifice for a revolution. Now, some of y'all don't want to get caught clapping for no shit like that, but if they hadn't have done that, they would have been hunting down Sister Unia. They would have been hunting down Brother Shea. They would have been shooting down African people like they wanted to, because Is It Real showed them it would work. You can just come in and cap the leadership. Cut them down, shoot them, and the population ain't going to do shit. So I thank God for even the women who step forward and say, I'm a revolutionary too, and would
sacrifice their life. America ain't ready to fight against nobody who's willing to die to win the fight. Because America's stealing, raping, robbing. They want to celebrate their shit. They want to have a party. They want to get drunk. They want to do ecstasy. They don't want to die for that shit. They only leave that for the grunts. Yeah, shoot them up with that Persian Gulf War shit. They all right. They just ain't going to go to another war. They don't mind hurting their own people. And any of you all, anybody in here work for the FBI? Raise your hand. Anybody in here work for the FBI? Raise your hand. Anybody in here work for the Oakland Commission on Human Relations or the Department of Commission on Human Relations or anything like that human relations or rumor control or monitoring type of shit? Anybody here for the wrong reason? You can raise your hand because you're going to need a friend. If you a spy, you an agent, you a punk, you a Tom, you a trick, white people need you now. This is the last phase for white folk to try an option with a population that they have exploited, that they in fact pathologically seek to have help in. If only you just step back one, let the hunky stand on his own. At this critical, you done held him up long enough. And they just want, look, let me tell you something. I appreciate that. White folks said, well, how will we know when the revolution is coming? He said, when they stop going to the ATMs. He said, on the neighborhood level, we can keep the grocery stores open and the ATM flowing and the liquor stores open. We know we have a population who's still willing to stick with us. Y'all know y'all be at that ATM 2-3 times a day, taking out $20. I need 20 more. Some of y'all gonna run from here, go to the machine to buy a tape or two. And we gotta take your money out of the hunky banks. They will soon announce that the hunky banks ain't got no money. Hunky banks, by law, only have to have 2% of your money to be a hunky bank. So if they got $100 million, they only have to have $2 million on file. Now, don't underestimate what I'm telling you when I ask you to take your money out of the hunky banks. Your money is safer in your gym shoe. And you are only safe in your own neighborhood. If at any point they announce, see, the stock market went up. About 3 weeks ago, it had a big one-day pickup. The whites had spread the rumor that bin Laden had been captured. The stock market went up. Went up 8 on that one day. But it was a lie. But if you hear them announce that bin Laden been captured, take your ass home. Say, boss, I gotta go. Say, what's up? Say, well, I heard they captured bin Laden. Brother Coakley warned me that if they capture bin Laden, they take my ass home because I'm only safe in my own community. And boss, I'll tell you, if you're still here when this shit is over, I'll come back. But I gotta go. Because I know I need you mandatory overtime. Said anytime. But this time, I gotta go. And so you step on out of there. Because that'll be a cold, focus, domino, because some other shit coming. What you think they sitting around waiting for? They know it's gonna come out. They at the bridges. They at the wait, let's go through some of the warnings. They got a warning, let's see, first a warning for skyscrapers, tall buildings. So they standing at the Sears Tower. They standing at the Empire State Building. They just standing there. At the White House, they had restricted airspace. Plane flew right over the White House. They said, there ain't come a plane. So we supposed to shoot it down. Said, but we can't. It's all on people down there. We shoot the plane down, it'll fall on the people. So they stood there and watched the plane go right over the top of it. Restricted airspace been violated 94 times since 9/11 because they ain't got no way to stop a plane without creating another level of confusion. Now, we had picked up that a plane could hit the White House years ago when we had talked about Raincoat Man and that little white boy who took cocaine, stole that little small plane, and crashed it right up under Hillary Clinton's window, bedroom window. And I said then, you know what? There are 3 rings around the White House. First ring, you're verbally warned. Second ring, you're physically warned. Third ring, you're shot down. Now, this ring, I have an aerial map, a scuba diver's map of Washington, D.C., which shows the restricted airspace, longitude, latitude. But they ain't got nothing to stop it. Guys sitting up there with handguns and shit on top of the White House, just as scared as the next one. And this is very important. If you choose to help white people, just understand this, that if they get the chance, they violate you. Everybody they ever had help them, they violate. Use all them little original people to run up on that mountain and get Geronimo down. So we because we can't go up there. Tried that with the Afghans. He said, we want you to go up there and bring down bin Laden. They said, okay, boss, give us the dough. They went up the mountain, went down the other side with the money. Ain't cost shit. So America blamed each other. Why y'all go up there? Said, we ain't going up there. We ain't going up there. That shit happened for real. Then America, in the Tower of Babel, gonna have all these people fight for them. They so happy they got all this money, they get married. And America bomb them for a president. Bomb all the little people they got to help them. Bombed them. Say, oh, we thought y'all was Taliban. That's some deep shit. Ooh, boy, so here they go. Here they go. So I'd say don't allow yourself to be violated and used by them. Now, here's the terror thing. Route to terror. This is the Washington, D.C. newspaper. It's the style section of Washington Post, April 13, 2002. Route to terror. On Jerusalem's vulnerable buses, fear rides along. See, if you're in the state of Israel, just riding a bus is a terror dome. Get on the bus. Goddamn, it's just a bus. Now, a couple of weeks ago, the Israelis shot a deaf mute Israeli boy. Because they asked him some security questions. And they shot him. Figured out later they killed a deaf mute. Because they all tightened up. They got that Tower of Babel thing. They boom. Damn, I thought I shot them. Anyway, so they're talking about the fear of riding a bus in Israel. I think that's important because that's coming here. Cyber attacks by Al-Qaeda fear. Terrorists at threshold of using internet as a tool of bloodshed, the experts say. Said that they found out that you could take something off the internet, a couple of wires and some cords, and you could go into an area, say where a dam is, hit your little switch, and you can make the water flow. You can put the dam's control system on bypass. Found out you could do it with some shit from Radio Shack. See, hunkies love telling everything. So they put everything on the internet. So now they done put everything on there. Now hunkies going on the internet getting everything. And they say, how did they figure that out? Because you told them. Oh, they're pathological things. So now they're saying now that they got to watch all the computers. They got to watch everybody's computer cut. Now they think something might happen through the computer thing. That's a real fascinating thing here. Coast Guard attack possible from divers and swimmers. So we got divers, swimmers, we got cargo. We got big trucks going in urban areas. We got airplanes, we got crop dusters, we got small planes. We got bridges. Even got the shit down to apartment buildings. Al-Qaeda could infiltrate your apartment building and blow it up. God damn. Where are you safe at? In your own neighborhood. Very good. Don't go nowhere. In your own neighborhood. Because the only person chasing you there was the person chasing you yesterday. Somebody you know. All right, keep up on that. Imagining a dirty bomb from malls to downtown. Tears, fears, and fatalism. And they just keep bombarding each other with this. White folk be scared. White folk say, ooh. Now, before this, white folk was colorblining each other. All right? Ain't been none of them since they got in a larger way of destroying each other. Now, what are little white kids going to do? Little white kids going to resist black liberation? Little white boy leaves Iowa, pissed off at the government. He ain't pissed off at Jesse Jackson or Mr. Farrakhan, or he ain't pissed off at the Black United Front. He pissed off at the government, so he dropped bombs in the mailboxes from Iowa to Texas. A white child. Am I check? Check on that? So look forward to other little white children doing things for white people to tell white people, I don't even want to be white. Look at the little boy who was sort of white down there in Tampa, Florida, jumped in that small plane. Flew that little small plane right into the Bank of America building. Because he just kind of pissed off. He said, I like Al-Qaeda. I like bin Laden. So he crashed the plane into the bank. And everything burned up but his suicide note. Because that's American way. Got to have a rationale for some shit. So a suicide note was still there, intact. Opened it up, showed it on the TV. Why he blew up, and then flew right over the Southern Strategic Command that was running the war in Afghanistan is in Tampa, Florida. He flew right over that area, which had no planes to protect it, right into the Bank of America building. So if the boy had known just a little bit more, he could have crashed the plane in a spot that would have stopped the war in Afghanistan's control center. Why is that in Florida? Because Bush's brother is the governor there. Why did that plane, that FedEx plane crash Friday with all them ballots on it? Because that's Florida, that's Bush country. Because there, you terrorizing people. They blocked the little students in Florida A&M from going to vote. They just put police cars in the street and say, nobody get past here. Except for the polling place over there, nobody get past here. So if you ain't willing to fight on that thing, then you ain't going to get to that thing. So they didn't get there. They backed up. All the people threatened lawsuits. I don't think one yet overturned none of that scam down there in Florida. Then came the 9 hoods. You don't ever want to use the 9 hoods on those street shit, but the whole goddamn coup d'etat rested on the 9 hoods with one nigga coming out and saying, yeah, that thing down there that say Bush. So the 9 hoods came out. Damn, that's Clarence Thomas now. And then his first public explanation of what they did on the Bush election was given to 4th graders. Bush don't reveal no major policy unless they're 9-year-olds. When 911 came down, he talking to 4th graders in Florida, right? Because anybody else, if it had been high schoolers, it would have been too intellectually strenuous for Bush. One of the dumbest, weakest, punkies, hunkies to ever produce with his boy Cheney. In fact, when we say the vice president go be, say, everybody do that. Just be waving on that. I'm out of breath. I'm out of breath. We just wave and around and all. She get a regular heartbeat here. I don't know if they showed that picture here, but y'all remember Bush sitting at home alone, all alone. He falls out the couch and scars up his face. In the house all alone. Something like the dog woke him up. Now, come on, y'all. This is getting preposterous. Yeah, he choked on a pretzel and fell out and just gassed up. That was the mother hunkies coming in there whipping his ass. Boy, you better get this shit together now. You, we need something from you. You better deliver. So there are all kind of little trash excuses we gonna get for stuff they doing. When they were getting down to investigating the money that the Osama bin Laden group, that's a financial company. Now, anybody here from Houston or around Houston? Anybody here go in and out of Houston at all? There's a thing down there called the Galleria Mall. Huge mall down in Houston. That was built by the Osama bin Laden group. Their American financial representative is Adam Khashoggi. When I was here that last lecture, we talked about the stealing of the election, coup d'etat in America. We mentioned Adam Khashoggi, who is the financial representative of the Osama bin Laden group. He thanked his daddy, bin Laden's daddy, for lending him $25,000. He turned into $25 million. Now, when the American embassy got blown up in Beirut, they paid the Osama bin Laden group to rebuild it. Bush around here raiding officers of this Islamic group, and that Islamic group, and that Islamic group, when Frank Colucci, James Baker III, Daddy Bush got more relationships with the Osama bin Laden group and so-called terrorists than any organization they raided. That was the next thing, and here comes the Carlyle Group, the financial apparatus that became the conduit for the Osama bin Laden group to make money. What left Boston in restricted airspace 3 days after 9/11? Bin Laden's family. Thank you. A plane full of the enemy, they say. You understand what I'm saying? This is one of the biggest con games honkies been pulled off, and it's protected by lack of critical information. That fills the void in decision-making, that now we have more information to make a sounder decision. Honkies are beyond rehabilitation. Reform or rehab, you cannot turn them around. You somebody preaching be talking about I'm a redeemer for the wicked and all of that? Bullshit. You can't turn that wicked around. But there's a reason why we had to experience it. Our life has been in jeopardy every day we've been here. Abaloo Diallo. You could be pulling your wallet out. What's the other one now? Abner Louima pulled the wallet out. Who was the one getting the stick? Now, the Skull and Bones, some of you all got that tape, State of the Race. There's a ritual in there from Skull and Bones where Skull and Bones, they reenacted the stick ramming thing as part of the ritual to go over it, Skull and Bones, which George Bush is a product of, to ridicule that process. But pulling out your wallet, responding as a security officer to an event, going to the gas station in Inglewood with a black mayor, Judge Dorn. You are in jeopardy any single moment you're out here. But they said we had high blood pressure, kidneys, cancer. We have got all these high health statistics. You hold on, give hunkies a minute. Under this pressure, hunkies are flooded to the hospital. That's why they're overeating them antidepressants, because they depressed. And as soon as you go back to your job and start reminding the white people you work with, now, I ain't gonna put this on camera, but how many of you all work around white people? Raise your hand. Okay. Okay, now, what'd you say, guy? They got a couple people not telling the truth. How many of y'all in here work in and around white people? Raise your hand one more time. All right, thank you. Okay, now, all the people will lie, man. Watch this. Do the people lie? Would the people lie to Brother Coakley? Sure they would, Brother Richard. Watch this. All right. How many of y'all in here watch porno flicks? Thank you, sister. See, only one person. There we go. Now, two. How many of y'all got porno video at your house? See, porno will make a liar out of you. So don't tell me we won't lie to each other. Right? Because I know I just got to ask the right question. Right? Porno will make a liar out of you. But what happened when the sisters in porno come out and say, brother, we black. We want to fight. We want to do revolution. We got a string of hunkies. We pull all out the pocket every night. Now teach us what to do with them now that we got them all with their pants down. You want their wallets? You want to know what they up to? You want to know something about their family? We can work them. The old Sunshine, we talk about it for years, how Sunshine in Harlem Nights took down the policeman with the power of womanhood, took him down so that something could be done on the street. And you know, I used to always ask that question. Who'd be willing to have sex with somebody who they did not love and did not like to advance black liberation? And usually nobody would raise their hand, because we just have sex for no reason at all. We don't need no purpose to do it. God knows we wouldn't do it because we was revolting. Because suppression amongst whites is never bad enough that we would go to bed with somebody we didn't like to kill them off. Because it ain't that tough on us yet, but it will be. You will do anything at a critical moment. And look, don't forget, did I bring it? I don't know if I brought it. But I usually now I got a thing where when I travel, I bring my can with me. Oh, let's see. Now I use the bag. Let's see, I got the can. I bring the can. Oh, here it is. Now, it's a small version. See, I bring my shit with me. Because I still say shit is a powerful thing for people who lack a weapon. Medically, it's called fecal matter. Right? Now, I just gave a lecture in D.C. and I had a real can of shit. So I had a big coffee can, and I opened my shit up, and I put it. So I went down the front row with, oh, everybody falling all out of the chair. Don't put that shit on me. So I figured it out. Yeah. Somebody be fucking with you? Put that can in the stool, drop it on in there, put the top on it. Just go on outside. So now look, you fuck with me? They say, I don't believe you. Just wow. Hold it out there. Somebody all clean and dressed up. Now one more shit out of you and I'm coming. Shit works. You can put shit in somebody's food and incapacitate them if you lack poison to do it. How about that? A little more serious. Because now you gotta put perfume in the shit so you don't tip them off. Right? Speaking of tip off, look at what the hunkies done. Operation Tip. Deputizing it. They got babies in the hospital telling on babies who want to jump the crib. Operation Tip, in case you don't know, is a new government program that says if you're driving a truck, if you're a bus driver, a truck driver, if you're a mailman or woman, if you're a PG&E, wherever you are, if you're a utility person, you go into a house, you're a phone company man, we want you to report what you see. So we done figured it out. Every Wednesday, a group of us getting together, we just reporting in white people. I see a suspicious white person walking through the black community look like Taliban. We have to systematically learn how to start making white people inflicted with their own white things. So now they Operation Tip Off a White. Or Tip Off on the White. 13-year-old from Holland called Washington, D.C. Police Department on the internet. Said at 12 noon, a bomb is going to go off at a bank in D.C. 53 banks evacuated the premises. A 13-year-old made a call and evacuated every single bank in Washington on one call as a precaution against hints of potential terrorist activity. That's the new white psychology. So now you got to know how to work them, how to move them. You know how to make the booty move and all the rest of that. Now I got to figure out how to make white folk move in mass scale using white technology. Look at all the building evacuations in D.C. It's a bomb scare. Every day, they got about 18 bomb scares. Said, man, I went to work today. I didn't do shit but go in and go out, go in and go out, go in and go out. We had so many bomb scares, man, I just stayed out a while. They started doing time outside. Okay, lunch. Okay, y'all go, y'all stay in case we get to go back in the building. And that psychology is in the last focus for white folks. That's a dangerous moment. Anyway, we're going to start packaging shit. Because, you know, sometimes people have the stuff, you know, we used to can, we used to have preserves, we used to store food and other things that we need to start redoing. We need to be able to think that we can stay 90 days without the store. Look around your house and figure out how you can make it 90 days with no electricity, no telephone, no gas or electric. You got to make it 90 days. Fuck that 2000 thing they was playing, that old phony stuff. Y2K, I was drunk. Because bond notes was carrying 2000 series, because they go 30-year notes. Them bonds in 80 and 90 all had 2000 series on it. That wasn't going to mess up no 2000 on no computer. And they running all in bond notes. But now you need 90 days worth of provisions, because it only might take 90 days to turn around 450 years worth of bullshit. 90 days. Shit's happening real fast. And it can get beyond calculation, and it's likely you're not going to do it, but it will be done for you. The terrorists next door. The terrorists next door. They got people looking all out the curtains and shit. Well, they said, you know, I saw them little terrorist guys. They look like regular guys. They were middle-class guys. Yeah, that's true. So now all middle and upper class, light-skinned, white-looking people are a security threat. Cargo. Oh, here we go. Jodie Foster was in a movie. What was it called? Jodie Foster was in a movie. What's it called? Panic Room. Now, how fast they put that shit together? Okay, white. We got a solution. You feel like the revolution coming? Get you a panic room. So now they played out in the movie. Panic rooms inspire safe rooms. Panic attacks inspire safe rooms. Rich and paranoid favor bunkers. Look at that shit. USA Today, May 1st, 2000, April Fool's Day. Panic attacks inspire safe rooms. And in the first sentence, in the new movie Panic Room, Jodie Foster hides in a New York brownstone in a high-tech bunker so that the burglars won't huff and fluff and blow her away. That's the anti-terror bill. Final Call talks about the anti-terror bill. We didn't effectively analyze what was in the anti-terror bill. The ability to incarcerate. 30 states, for example, in Maryland. Maryland passed a set of 911 laws. And I know California had to, too. One is that if they believe that you have been contaminated with a foreign substance, the Maryland government has now authorized itself to quarantine you against your will. In other words, because they say you've been contaminated by something, they have the right to quarantine you. Once quarantined, they are claiming the right to mandatorily vaccinate you. And if you refuse vaccination, you are isolated within isolation. Now that's some deep shit. While whites are arguing over whether Ted Williams go to the cemetery or to the freezer. Okay. Now I know we're gonna have a little intermission, right? All right. What time we got? What time we gotta be out of here today, Pop? I'm gonna call you Pop. I'm gonna help you too, brother, because you deserve to be some love. I can hear all your soul in your presentation, but that was a regular thing. I give you some honor and respect, man, brother. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate that. Won't be long. Nah, it's great. So we're gonna have a little intermission. Allow you a chance to enjoy some of the food that's available for you. Sister's got some books in the hallway. I unfortunately was down in L.A. I left some videos down there. I got a lecture down in L.A. on Tuesday. Y'all brought up all the ones I brought up here today and yesterday.
only have some audio tapes left. A couple of ones I didn't have out earlier called, one especially, a radio show from KJLH down there called 911 Trauma. It's a little bit about the post-911 psychology. Oh, just stop. Oh. It been stopped? Why didn't y'all tell me tape stop? Offered an excuse for her. Ah, your nose is growing. Okay, well, we'll just leave it there. We're going to stop for a 15-minute intermission. All right? And enjoy the food. Now, I know what's going to happen, right? Some of y'all going to leave for then, y'all going to leave when the program go? Because if y'all going to leave, during the intermission, then I'm going to pass the hat for the brother, because y'all ain't going to come back. Y'all going to come back? Oh, sister, don't say that. Is that true? Is sister telling the truth? Sister telling the truth? I should do that. That's all. Okay, I don't want to preclude anybody helping anybody else. I'm going to put a box on my table. If you do want to make a donation, just drop it in the box. I just do it like that. I won't hold up the audience. I ain't going to ask for who all got 100, raise your hand, and who got 2,000, raise your hand. Come on up, I read your business card. I ain't going to do that. It's worth all of that, but I'm not going to do that. So if you do, I'll put a box on the table, put a donation, and you just drop it in the box. And support the vendors that are here. And when we come back in the second half, I'll go through some of this. I have one folder I put in perfect order to share with you today. You don't have an overhead projector around here anywhere, do you, Bob? Okay, that's okay. We're going to get one plate. All right, you all. We're going to break for 15 minutes easy.
Okay, this is the first tape in the first half of Brother Steve. So you might want to switch tapes now. All the information, we had to use 2 tapes. So this is tape number 1. When we come back, you will be viewing, hopefully, tape number 2. Okay? Number 2 is coming up.
Give Brother Richard a hand, because that's how a lot of folks found me here. It's through Brother Richard, who had called me, and him and his brother put up the money. Where was that place we were at in San Francisco, the African? It was a big building like it. Okay. And then in time I met Sister Nia and family and others, and we came and had a lecture in the garage about the assassination attempt on Brother Collard. And I had flown to L.A. to investigate the shooting of Brother Collard in Riverside, California. And I left L.A., came here June 20, was it maybe, I think Collard was shot on Memorial Day, somewhere right in that day after Memorial Day. I flew up here to L.A., flew up here to Oakland, myself and Brother Ed, and Brother Maurice, and we had the lecture in the garage, and we talked about the assassination attempt on Brother Collard. You know, people ask me, do you think they murdered Brother Collard? Well, you shot Brother Collard. It's likely he was a target for murder. And the fact that Brother Collard died in a more quiet, sophisticated sort of way, for me, is further evidence that Brother Collard was murdered. There's a tape that I did, which is probably one of the only public discussions about what happened to Brother Collard, called the K case. And I was down in L.A. before I got here. I didn't make enough of the tapes and sold the tapes out. Another question, anybody got high-speed dubber here? Anybody got high-speed duplicate? You know, put the audio in, run it in 90 seconds. Somebody has one of those? Who got one of them? You have one of them? All right, because you can't never run out of tapes if you got the high-speed dubber. Because that's what you have to use to re-up tapes. I could have done some things while I was here that could have cleared away things people wanted by tomorrow with that type of equipment. Okay. Let's see here. So there's only this one tape with Malik Zulu Shabazz on for 45 minutes saying what he thought didn't happen in Collard. And then myself and Attorney Automatic coming on for the next 45 minutes accusing Malik and others of what we felt happened to Brother Collard. Now I have to tell you this little story, and we'll put this in the record, give you some foundation. About 3 weeks before Brother Collard died, there was an article, a strange sort of article, in a white distributed newspaper in Washington, D.C. called the City Paper. Now, every city has one of these weeklies. I don't know what they call it here. In L.A., it's called the L.A. Weekly. In Chicago, it's called Chicago Reader. In D.C., it's called City Paper. And in, say, Cincinnati, they call it City Beat. This is usually a thick, free, heavily distributed, white people of the Jewish religion type. The Guardian, they call it here. Usually got porno in the back, massage parlors, personal things, the movies, and some articles in the front. Yeah, they got a whole network of that shit. They have dominated that free weekly newspaper. And so in that context, this particular article, which was written about a black man, there has never been in the City Paper in Washington a favorable article on a black man. They used that paper to bring down Marion Barry in specific, for one example. And on the weekend of Bush's inauguration, people coming into Washington from all over the world, City Paper puts out an extra edition. And in the front page cover story, it's called Black Power. Now, I was tripping on that. That while all these white people coming to D.C. on inauguration weekend, that was January 15th, 22nd, somewhere in there, of 2001. Now remember, only 30 days after Bush is president, Collard is dead. And I believe, and I said it the first time Collard was shot, that there was a finding, which is a conclusion, done by the American intelligence community, that Khalid Muhammad was a threat to national security. That's the clause they use to say, hey, okay, we're going to kill Saddam Hussein. Or we're going to kill this one or that one. It's quote, finding. It's the right of a president to write a law that could even include murder. And the law goes in a safe. It's a secret law. It's called a presidential finding. And under those findings, they started the Contra War. It was a presidential finding finding that said that the CIA could legally sell drugs, crack cocaine, to the American public. It was a law that they allowed. The president wrote a finding that told the Attorney General that the CIA was exempt from reporting drug sales. That's what Maxine Waters found when she got all the way down to the bottom of the CIA drug contra war thing. One sheet of paper. Clinton tipped it to her. She backed Clinton up on that sex thing, and he tipped her to one sheet of paper that showed that they had legalized illegal activity. That's why hunkies ain't no good, because they can pathologically do stuff like that. So I perceive that where Clinton had the paperwork, and on one round they tried it. When Bush came in, he reauthorized the assassination attempt on Brother Collins. Now, one person bought a tape that I had, which was Brother Collins' last speech. It's on a Friday. Brother Collins is dead by Monday. We'll go through that little weekend. But 3 weeks before he died, whites did what whites do when they're preparing an assassination. They get somebody warming up in the bullpen. Somebody said, who's going to be the next pitcher? I said, well, look out in the bullpen. He in there warming up. And the pitcher will be in there warming up. They said, that's who's going to come in when they get in trouble. So here in context is Bush signing his finding, but 3 weeks before he died, Brother Collins has got the Panthers at a protest at Bush inauguration. And they assigned all of these spots for protest. And you had to go through barricades to get searched. And, they have the protesters go behind the barricades and citizens were in front of them. And so you have an organized situation. Now, I ain't never for filling out permits. You having a protest, don't seek approval, because that become a whole test. When you sign up, we didn't get a permit for the Million Youth March in New York. Giuliani knew he was coming. He said, I ain't giving up no permit. But they gave permit to a Klan. So he threw the permit out. Yeah, stamp the shit, throw it out there to him. But that 3 weeks before he died, the government showed their hand. And that story came out. You can download this story. citypaper.com archives, in the archives section. January 15th to the 22nd, 2001. That's the story. The story is entitled Black Power. Front page story. When you open the story up, it's a 12-page promotion of Malik Zulu Shabazz. I didn't like that story at all. See, like I was saying earlier about how I ended up having to, I had to do what happened to Harold Washington. I had to do what happened to John Wilson in D.C. He was the man getting ready to announce for mayor. On the day he's going to announce, he's found hung in his basement, right? Just hanging on a pipe that was, what they say, about 4 feet tall. I don't know what, maybe 4 feet about that tall. He's hanging on a pipe 4 feet tall. Say he jumped off a chair. Did it to himself. $450,000 cash in the bank, a wife and a girlfriend. Somebody said, well, maybe he's having a hard time, working on sex, but all of that. And he hung himself. He was chairman of the city council in D.C. Only man who knew D.C. finance. Only 3 people knew D.C. finance. Marion Barry, a white boy named Dave Clark, and John Wilson. John Wilson is dead 1 month. 3 months later, Dave Clark, the white boy, gets head cancer, drops dead. Barry gets set up on the TV screen. And all 3 of the people who knew everything about D.C. government are gone to bring Anthony Williams in, the Boule man, who's now mayor, who just got kicked off the ballot. Did no Republican run against him? No other Democrat ran against him? He doesn't even get 2,000 signatures, had fraudulent signatures. They just ruled today that he's off the ballot. D.C. has no candidate for mayor. If only, there's one white woman ran every year but this year, Carol Swartz. Ran every year but this year. So she said, I'm too tired to run. And now there's nobody in the race. And that's what I tell people sometimes when you don't know how you're going to win, you don't know what's going to get in the win that'll give you an opportunity. Now the mayor got to run as independent, but fuck, I can run as independent. We all got to do write-ins. And it's damn near impossible to win with a write-in. But now it's a whole election of write-in. So now who controls the counting? Because right end don't punch. You go in the thing now and punch it. But right end, you gotta write it in. Somebody gotta physically count it up. You gotta write the count down. As opposed to running through the machine that comes out with the tab that tells you how many been run through the machine sometimes. Because that ain't even straight. That's 20% unreliable. So now, you got this context of this story coming out. The story says Malik has beautiful brown eyes, is tall and handsome, walks into a room and attracts attention. Now it's written by a guy named Marv Cohen, which is not likely that they would give this favorable type of consideration. Then come them big trap lines. Khalid Muhammad is the old leadership. Malik Zulu Shabazz is the new transformation leadership for the future. Whites promoting who they perceive is more in their interest. Malik is an attorney. He wear the Black Panther thing, but when he go to court, he wear a shirt. The judge come in, he stand up and say, "Your Honor." I wouldn't doubt that. I wouldn't doubt that. You know, they put him on C-SPAN one night where he did this whole thing, I love the Taliban, Afghanistan, and from National Press Club. We have so iced this movie that only the whites can help him have a constituency in the black community. Last time I was in Detroit, I was there with the Panthers that were there for college that broke from Malik. I just left Cincinnati with the Panthers who were college who broke from Malik. Had a lecture in D.C. with the Panthers who were college who broke from Malik. In 11 cities, I have spoken with those who broke in Dallas, Texas, where I'll be next weekend, broke from Malik. Because, like myself, I would work with Malik because college said so, or asked so, but I didn't like Malik. Arrogant, insensitive, untrustworthy. I had OJ come to a lecture down in L.A. I said, "Look, brother, you clean up your act, I'll take you in every city. We'll walk, clean up your shit. You learn how to do something for somebody outside of the links." He said, I helped Negroes. I gave $5,000 to the links. Them Aussies didn't need $5,000. They husbands are the richest niggas in town. You ain't impressing me with that. So Tony Muhammad brought him to the lecture with the brothers. And we had a meeting after. In fact, I wrote half of OJ's speech that he gave in Oxford, where he left me May 25th, went to Oxford first week of June, and gave the speech I wrote. And all he did was bust on the Rhodes Secret Society. He did the whole thing on Rhodes Secret. I'm here at Oxford, home of Cecil Rhodes. I was informed it's the most brutal, racist secret society in Italy. White folks didn't even cover what he said, because he said what I did. Jermaine Jackson and the Jackson family released a press release. Jackson's statement says, but that's what I say. I wrote the press release. White folk ain't reported on it. Because it's Coakley shit that. We don't want nobody talking Coakleyism. Power 101 analysis on the music industry. Top 10 companies, top 10 niggas, correspondent blanks, pick up the Princes, the George Clintons, and all others who've been violated by the music industry and take our shit to another level, a constituency who must give to these neighborhoods. I came here to see if Oakland would receive some of these people who have not necessarily been primary in black liberation, who would like to submit themselves to black liberation, and as a part of getting in with the black, got to sacrifice to the black. That's my condition for engagement. They just can't get me. I'm only alive because of you. Faceless, nameless, dimes, nickels, and quarters are the only reason I'm alive. I ain't never been helped by nobody in life but one man with money, and that's Brother Dr. Onion Palmer, who had the Garvey School down in L.A., where I'll be speaking that Tuesday. I helped save his school from somebody taking his school. They voted him out 2-1, because they say you gotta have 3 people on the executive. They voted him out 2-1 of his own school. And I said, that's how I indoctrinate a vote, 12 o'clock. I announced to everybody in L.A., go to Garvey School, we're gonna take it back. At 10:10, the guy who took it left and went to Africa. So we didn't turn the vote around. We just say, hey, the vote, you can take that to the white people. Appeal to the white people that we overthrew you after the vote. But appealing to the white people will make you ungovernable for black people. So let's go back to college. My only point, that's the only person that ever helped me by helping them. I've been violated by a lot of African people of so-called quote prominence. And Malik came in, we had set this thing up with OJ, bring him to D.C. Malik and his mama went to OJ house, gave him $10,000 I told him I wasn't getting them shit. Why am I going to pay this brother to come and get straight with black people? He's sleeping with white women. I told him, as long as we ride, no pink. We sit in the hotel. He looking up at that white woman, Christy, that boxer, white lady, big chunky white lady like the queen of white boxing. Christy what? Christy Martin. He's sitting up talking about how fine she is. I said, nigga, quit it. So you got to stop that, because I can't take you to no sister and you still in pink. That's a violation. Because no matter what, I'm with you. Don't nobody ever have to do shit. I'm with you. You with me. You are my constituent. Your interest is nobody else in the game. It's nobody between me and you. When they come to me and say we want to counter what whites doing, it only way you can counter it with all, is there an all-black network. The nation has one. You can go there. They're in every single city. You can go to NAACP, the Urban League, Rainbow Push Coalition shit. I don't know if you're going to get no results because white people have paid them people already. And so you got a lot of things going on. And you have Brother Collin, who was a third force in the neighborhood, very valuable third force. And so there's that article promoting Malik. It's the same article that New York Times did promoting Jesse, quote, Post-Martin, as the new Negro leader. Same article they did in Chicago for Tim Evans before they killed Harold Washington. So I'm kind of like an anti-assassination specialist. The formula is, you put me on that case, I'll figure out who and what it is that they put in position, because they never do a murder without succession and control. Never wipe out an office unless you go put your person in. So you can find movement for that person that you want ratification before the act. So Harold Washington dies November 23rd. On November 11th, on a public broadcast of television, they asked Harold Washington, if you would have died tomorrow, who would your be replacement? And Harold went, ooh. He hit the table. That's a ghoulish question. Shit. I'll run it from the grave. And then he said, but what about Tim Evans? I said, Tim Evans? I said, so he named some people so outlandish, they weren't even elected officials. I think Mary Jones, I think she's a good person. What Mary Jones do? She said she's just a citizen. He would not allow them to make him name the name of his murderer. Didn't allow that. And it's kind of a real deep situation, because it's such a precise formula of assassination. So here comes this story, and my alarm goes off. I called for Brother Collin. He called for me, because he was so pissed off at the article, which is now free everywhere over D.C. This article's all over D.C., free, and it's promoting the guy that's working for Collin. So Collin's at the rally. Collin is at the rally for himself, and he don't even speak. He does not speak at the inauguration. He don't say a word. He was so pissed off at Brother Michael Muhammad and Brother Malik Zulu Shabazz. He told them to go out there and speak. And then they were still working to work against the other people in the group. So they tell Collin shit against the Sister Malika, who was the chief of staff. And so Collin brought the brother in the car with him and said, now tell Sister Malika what you told me. But stop. He said, okay, get out the car. He turns to Malika. He said, whatever you do, don't trust these bastards. And he felt himself getting muscle. He felt a crowd. 3 days before he dies, he does a speech. Revolution is the only solution. No more Negro stuff. And you can see he's just out of bullshit remedies. And he just takes it right to the whole cards. Now, you have to look at that tape and figure out, is this guy going to die by natural causes in 3 days? That was a Friday, he's in New York. On the Saturday, he comes down to D.C., goes to the three-point contest, because the NBA All-Star game was in Washington, D.C. last year at the MCI Center. And in fact, I guess they're going to turn that arena into WorldCon, because the MCI is a part of WorldCom, and now they ain't 9 cents a share. So it's likely they're going to have to sell that. That's a half cent. You buy $20 million to put your name in the Florida arena. So somebody's going to have to pay them. They're probably going to go to the bankruptcy court to get that name back, because a lot of the most corrupt whites bought names out in the public so that they can propagate their corruption by calling it the Continental Airlines Center in Jersey. And what's the one up here? is Quest. Quest stock ain't but $1 and something. That's the communications in Denver. Look at all the communications stock. Look at the prices in AT&T, Verizon. Watch them all the way down, because they ain't but above, most of them in the $5 below range. That's some deep shit. WorldCom say, hell, we can't go under. We do we do 70% of all internet traffic. Come and say, hey, we'll put your ass in bankruptcy and receive your shit. Anyway, let's go back to Brother Collins. So, Brother Collins in New York on Friday. He does this lecture for the vendors there on 125th Street at Harriet Tubman. He leaves there, goes to D.C. on Saturday for the shoot-around, on Sundays at the All-Star game. Sunday night, stays at Malik Zulu Shabazz's house. The last time he went to bed. And he leaves out 4 or 5 in the morning. Over those 2 days, it was verified he ate at the Waffle House, he ate at the McDonald's, and he ate at Popeyes. Now, he considered those places at random. In other words, the food's in the bin, somebody goes in, grabs something off the thing, throws it in a bag. He considered that at random. When he was in New York, they handed him a plate of food, he gave it back. No, in fact, he didn't give it back, he gave it to Brother Hashim. Brother Hashim told me in testimony that he put it in the garbage, that they didn't eat the plate that was handed. Never eat a plate that was handed to you. Never drink a drink you didn't pour. Never drink a drink without the cap on it. Let's go all through that one with you, but that's some mandatory low-level stuff. So, when Khalid gets back to Atlanta, I think it's about 2:30 in the afternoon. At 7 o'clock that night, he and his sister, Nefertari, who is the only one of Khalid's women that I did not know. The way we work security is that if anything ever happened to me, brother, you call this one, you call that one, you know this, you know that. We ain't gone through with the sisters. What you do, who you call. If you call me and somebody answer, what you're supposed to do is say, what shit we just did with each other. It's mandatory that we had lifeline on each other. This is the one person that I did not know of all of the people that I knew he dealt with that I had to be responsible for in a security situation. From Sister Phyllis on down, everybody knew what to do, but this one called Nefertari. And my understanding is that she works for T.D. Jakes. That alone to me is foul and suspicious, but that's a whole nother thing. Let's see here. Khalid gets home, they eat Chinese food, him and the sister. Order out for food, they eat Chinese food. Now that's something we got to deal with, food that's brought to your house, where you've gotten on the phone and you told somebody you got something coming to you. Because if somebody stops the driver, you ordering a hoagie sandwich, and somebody say, look, let me buy the hoagie sandwich from you for $100. A guy looking for a $1.20 tip will in a minute give up your sandwich for $100. I mean, probably 50. And somebody could just put the powder in it, wrap it back up and say, okay, go ahead on. And deliver it to you and you would eat it because you pre-declared you was going to get something from somebody else. And that's holding up. But the queen don't get sick off the food. Told about 11, strike 10, they start having sex in the bed. They're in Atlanta. Khalid's been gone for a little while. About 11 o'clock, he has the first regurgitation, vomits. She says he vomits in the bed. She lifted him up, pulled the covers from up under him, took the sheets and the blankets and all that with the vomit on, put it in the bed, put it on the floor. And after she did that, put some more sheets on it, Khalid threw up again. Now, there's a little discrepancy on what happened by the third throw-up, whether he threw up in the bathroom or threw up near the bed. But on that third throw-up, he went unconscious and never regained consciousness from a moment past then. It's my feeling that he died right there that Monday night. Now, all the medical fabrication stuff now sets in. So they called the ambulance, but not initially. First, they clean up everything. You hear Malik Zulu Shabazz. If anybody wants to order that tape, you take this number down. It's my home number, so most of you all have me write it down already. He got it. 202-882-0405. And give me till next weekend to get home. Well, it's a Friday. I'll be in Dallas Saturday. I'll be back home Sunday. 202-882-0405. The old number is dead. The old 301 number is dead.
It's been alleged that 8 hours passed before an ambulance was called while Brother Carter is laying on the floor. 8 hours. Brother Hashem was called by the wife who didn't just pick up the phone and call 911. Now, that reminded me of something else. When Harold Washington dropped dead at his office desk, the guy who was in there, who I believe was in on the murder, Alton Miller, when Harold Washington's head hit the desk, he didn't pick up the phone and call 911. You the mayor, you got a deck of phones. I mean, you got a deck, you can hit anybody up in the city by pushing a button. You got 2 deck of phones. You got a big red bar and a blue bar. That security come in that door or that door. They're outside the door, allowing you to have your private meeting. The mayor's office will be as big as this room right here, with the mayor's desk in here, cocktail table, the chairs over there, a kitchen over there, a back door leading to a conference room there, small conference here, and chairs around the mayor's desk, like these chairs facing the desk right here. Mayor sitting here, Harold Washington talking to Alton Miller. This is head on the desk. Alton Miller talks about how he didn't know what to do. He thought the mayor was reaching for a pen, so he said his head popped on the desk. One hits the red button. He runs out the door and asks for Dolores Woods, the secretary, to come in. Then he don't call 911 still. He runs and gets security in another door and asks them to come in. Now he's got someone else confused about it. Then you call 911. Then you call 911. You're the only one that's seen the body. I'm not saying that's what you do, but when you're on the murder team, you never be the only one to see the body. You're the only one called 911. You become the suspect. So you go get other people to see the body, and then together you then call 911. And this is Alton Miller's book about Harold Washington. And on page 353, there's an argument in there about he and I, where I hit him in his face with my elbow, because he told me he was going to go see the mayor, and I said he wasn't. The mayor was busy. He reached his hand down for that door, and I popped him with the bogart, had him all up in the eye socket, lynching and shit, trying to see and shit. And I said, I tell you, you're not going in that door. You are not going to have my mayor in there. You want see, people are real weird about something they're into. I'm into that. I said some really awful things about Mr. Farrakhan in defense of Brother Collins. But in our reconciliation, those who were offended by what I said had to admit that if I'm on your team, if I'm fighting for you, I will fucking kill for you if you're who I'm fighting for. Because I am deeply dedicated and loyal to what I believe in. And I fight it, like we talked about last night, by any means necessary. There's nothing I'm going to do to protect what we're standing for at this critical moment. Long and as hard as we work to get it this far, ain't nobody gonna fuck it up. So we can reconcile on that basis that this is a brother who will fight. I felt that there was some undermining things going on, and I said it. And I stopped it. There had 2 million youth marches the first year we had one. Should have been but one. But all that is coming past, and we have reconciled. We all are part of the power dynamic. I helped do some things on that last trip. When it went on that last trip, I had a little bit in the mix. My buddy's a roommate. We tend to do some stuff together. We've been able to help some people because we have certain skills. And that's just a base thing. If you in against a war against white folks, you want to know something about white folks, I got the good. If you were going that way. You don't need what I'm up to if you ain't fooling with the white people, because I just ain't got no black dialogue, though. I mean, I do the Boule thing. That's the Boule thing on there. Got the Jesse Kill King thing in there. But now, as a result of this point that we could get the whole thing, which is what we always wanted anyway, had to put the little things down. Because we now, I'm talking to you about whole card, end game, in the white society, false constitution. I ain't doing the reading names of Boule. We want them, but do you notice how the Negro leadership ain't said shit since 911? Civil Rights All-Stars been on vacation for a year and a half. Ain't said shit. They used to fight over press conferences and waving their hands and being known and seen in the public for kissing ass. Now, they all on mute. So that's not a problem anymore. We pulled them problems to the side. Miss King came to us to help us stand up for the murder of her husband. She said Billy Cowles and Jesse Jackson were in on that. When I was here last, I talked about that. And I seen the tears in Miss King's face for somebody picking up the plight of her dead husband, because she thought the words and the things she said got lost in the shuffle. We know how to go find constituents. When these Jackson family come crying to me about what some white folk done to them, I said, well, you know, I was with Public Enemy. And when I was with Public Enemy on them first 3 hours, would you see
my name on the cover, we were fighting Nate Yentoff of CBS Sony Records. And Yentoff is who Michael made his big records with. Thriller, biggest selling record all time, 51 million. Sony built a skyscraper out of Michael money. So when they come to me and say, we really did good with Yentoff, I said, fuck Yentoff. Y'all did good, and y'all did good, but when they was violating my client Public Enemy, y'all ain't said shit. Michael ain't said shit about no Yentoff when they was fucking Public Enemy. When they told Public Enemy, Yentoff himself, if you with Coakley, you ain't getting paid. So Griff left and they stayed. And I lived long enough to have Chuck D come and apologize to me, because thinking he could be Public Enemy with a hunky. And it didn't work. It broke down. They became the Has thing. They coming back. They're going to do some stuff. They got something out now. They're trying to regroup. We're going to have to put a posse together. Dead Fred, Fred Hampton Jr., Brother Coakley, Brother Eric Toure Muhammad, got a little surprise in there. We're going to get the Wu-Tang. We're picking up all the people that we've been working with all this time. We're going to posse it up. It's going to get treacherous, because white's going to figure out what we're really up to. I'm telling you now, somebody here going to tell them. But cosmically, they can't touch it. This end of the white man. Nothing I can do about anything we up to. No, I'm with you there. But I just, okay, let's go back. Because if they can kill Brother Collins, they can kill me. Because as a result of Collins' death, nobody not doing nothing. It was clear that it could be done to any of us. That was the signal. And whites were turning to us at that point when boom, all that other shit came, kind of made them have to go internal about their own struggle. They changed their strategy. So I could live long enough to get reconciled with that, but then to tell the Jacksons, you ain't running that to me. Because I was out there and they got violated. Y'all wasn't helping in. Y'all had more money than any nigga in the record business. So we're going to work. You got to go to rehab. After rehab, we can work together. Because the people who kept me alive are you. So they can't get before you. You call me, they can't. I don't see them before I see you. I see you, then I see them. Because that's just the way it goes. But say, can I buy you a ticket? No, I get my own ticket. Can we get the hotel? No, I get my own hotel. I do my own thing. When I finish my thing, when I talk to my people, even about us helping you, then I'll talk with you. You know, so I was actually waiting in Encino, California, for me to get there, where they own the whole goddamn block. I mean, Martin Lawrence lived next door, right on down. Started calling you the names of people who live in this one little community where the Jacksons at. And then from there, we're supposed to go on to Neverland. But that ain't no trip for me. Because they just another client who I'm meeting for the first time. You have been knowing a long time. That's just in context. You gotta get that figured out. And so that's why I'm saying about what may happen on that level before it happens. Because it has to be the consent of the victims that it happens. Now that they are a victim, just makes them new in the victim class. They get the end of the line. Victims here, line up. Most recent victims in the back. Richest victims all the way in the back. Okay. And Brother Collins had a way of getting money times two. He knew how to get some money sometimes. I know Hardaway, Steve Harvey, I know a lot of people who stood up to try to help and advance what Brother Collins was doing on the down low. He had a way of being able to make that clear. Master P sent what Master P said, how much he sent on that wire? He sent $140,000 on a telex wire from South to New York so we could have Million March #1. Now, we got this boycott in Cincinnati. Master P just sang a song. He went in there and broke the boycott. Because Master P been busted down. He ain't what he was. So he violated the boycott. That's another guy walked across the line and went in there and performed in Cincinnati. Now he said he needs money. When he gave the money to College, right after that they repudiated College to tell the white people they didn't do it. And his little manager named Sylvester. But the bottom line is, don't deny what you proudly do for your people, because the hunky will not respect you when you turn and be a punk to him when he asks you. He said, oh, see this motherfucker, you don't believe what he say. He gonna lie to me, and I know he didn't. I remember when we jacked up the head of the Boule, had my man meet with him. He said, what can you tell me about Steve Coakley, Boule dude? My man said, I don't even know Coakley. He said, come on, man, he promoted his lectures. See, sometimes we think we fooling somebody with the Okie and the Dokie. They know far more before they ask the question. They know the answer. You don't ask a question unless you know the answer. That's how you measure validity. Huh? All right, you got porn on your house? Yeah, okay. No, you said yeah. That was your truth talking, right? did he say? He said, no. Yeah, you did. You put it down first time. You did, no doubt. But that's why I said, look at me, because I wouldn't have said, look at me if you didn't look away. What? Don't what? And where? Tonight we go home with you. No, that's not necessary. Okay. I'm going to send you some porn. Sunshine Revisited. It's a hot new video. Hottest video on porno, Snoop Doggy Dogg got. He said, man, I sold 1 million albums, but I sold 2 million videos. Just put that in your head. Throw that around. Snoop Doggy Dogg teamed up with the boy and hustler, Larry Flint. It's a whole nother thing. 2 million videos he sold of Snoop Doggy Dogg go porno. Deep situation. He's singing left and shooting camera more. Okay, now, so let's go back to that house where Brother Collin is in. It's getting late at night, and now nobody's calling the ambulance. Everybody's cleaning up the evidence. Now, when I asked why was the vomit and everything cleaned up and thrown away, I was told that because the house was up for sale. Now, people don't know. I met the real estate lady, Sister Michelle, who was selling Collin's brownstone in Harlem for $565,000 on Thursday of the week he died. If Collin didn't have anything in life at the end of that sale, he was going to have money. He and the sister were selling the house they had in Decatur, Georgia, to somebody else, and were moving to another house in Georgia, and were making a windfall of $37,000 moving between two houses. So one thing Collin wouldn't have had at the end of that week was a money problem. He planned on going to Atlanta, right outside of Atlanta, and setting up a Panther training area that was going to be next to the Nuwaubian Nation. That was going to be next to the Royal Guard of the Amun-Ra, which was the area that Wesley Snipes bought for $1 million to make a world paramilitary unit of black people. Wesley Snipes, they bought the land. And now they got Wesley Snipes under tax evasion. Because, see, to get him, they had to bust all the white people. They went down there to bust him because he in that haven with all the white people. But Wesley's save is he know white pathology. He can put that demonic shit together. White folks sucking blood, biting necks, eating people's faces and shit, coming in and out of tunnels with that blade thing. White said, ooh, that's cunning. $55 million one weekend on blade alone. So he can, in fact, use white pathology to make his money back. Did the film on Dr. Clark. Got one coming on Dr. Ben. Got one on all the world brothers in martial arts that'll put chills up your spine. And from there, you'll find the foundation for the Royal Guard of Amun-Ra. Everybody don't know that about Wesley Snipes. Okay. And when he got named by Oswald Kwesi, the whites came in and said, I got white publicists, white attorney, white this, white that. What more do you want? Pay all y'all. What more y'all want? Okay. So there was a sheriff down there in Georgia too who got shot by the other sheriffs after he won the election. That was one of Collin's best friends. Y'all don't know that. That was one of Collin's best friends. The sheriff that had just won. In fact, they just convicted the guys about 2 weeks ago for shooting him. There you go. Right. That was one. So what was happening was a whole reorganization of Atlanta was going on privately. A whole reorganization of Atlanta privately was going on. Now, Atlanta is one of the trickiest cities in town. Because you go to Atlanta and thinking ain't no white people running it. Black mayor, black police, black this, black that, black everything. And the sophisticatedness of the white man in Atlanta, he doesn't need to be named. He doesn't feel he needs to be out on Peachtree telling people he run Atlanta. So they give what you call black-led white finance leadership. And the white folks didn't bust down until they started messing up in the porno club, which had all the info, which brought down some white people to Jewish religion, took the mayor out of his seat, Campbell, took down some athletes and some others, because porno is penetrating. It's a penetrating act on several levels. So there was, now you know what happened with the Nuwaubians, or the Ansars. They've arrested They arrested Malachi York and his wife, flew him to New York. They're under 38 counts of child molestation. They broke him down, shut the compound down. Brother Jamil was going to take the next side of the matter. He in jail with life on a murder he didn't commit, with a video showing the other guy running, shot who did it. When he had his trial, he showed one piece of evidence. That video stood up and said, rest the case. He made a bad move. He underestimated the brutality of whites. Felt just because he had the facts, they was going to let him go. They found his ass not guilty in record time. But he thought, just by showing them the video off of a camera down the street from the shooting, that was enough. He had to show that video actually about 40 times, draw out his defense about 40 days, wore them honkies down, then let them go in that back room. They were so fresh with all them days of prosecution shit, and that one half a morning of his testimony, it didn't take them a minute to forget that morning shit. Lunch made them forget the morning shit. Found him guilty by the weekend. And just when everybody was going to go there to rebel, to defense him, somebody put out on email, don't worry, he's going to be found not guilty. Don't come to Atlanta. Anyway, okay. So in context, I'm trying to suggest to you that Brother Collins was about something now. Atlanta has proven in the past, like the Atlanta child murders, that they can do some killing and find one person and quell the whole sense of apprehension. Too many of us were migrating to Atlanta. So to cut down black migration, they had the Atlanta child murders. Camille Bell from Chicago left there to find a better place for her and her daughter Amy. She got down there and got killed. They stupid. You know, they won't say Ron or what they did. So in context, Collins wasn't part of a larger reclamation of power by blacks outside of Atlanta. Now, what's her boy name? Asa Hilliard, Boule Asa Hilliard, his wife is the mayor of Five Point, Atlanta, where all the military bases and shit is. And I just could walk around the outside of Atlanta and we could talk about something that's not known much. And sister, it's interesting, I have this news clip from LA where they were attacking Wesley Snipes. The land that he bought for $1 million was valued at $560. So they went to the sheriff to say, on take camera, Sheriff, why do you think he bought this property for $440 million more than it was worth? He said, I don't know, but I'll tell you the truth there. We're investigating this because this is not law that a nigger would buy the land more than what the land was worth. We told that man not to sell that land, but he sold him that land anyway. So we're going to work on that. We don't want that to happen, but it happened anyway. So that was to make sure that he could get the land. He got it. He owned the shit now. And he put out a position paper on the Royal Guard of the Army of Rock. It's still going to happen. You can't even stop it. It's going to happen anyway. Because all them neck-biting honky booties is enough to, it's going to happen. Even if he got to pay the $7 million back, it's still enough left over to have the Royal Guard of the Army of Rock. You still going to see that movie on Dr. Ben. You still going to see that martial arts. You still going to see some more of this stuff coming down the pipe. So Brother Collar was a part of a reorganization of the black community that allowed us to be more thorough about what we say we're about. But here comes this promotion by the whites of police response. Now, Brother Collar didn't found the Black Panther Party coming back. Them were the brothers in Dallas, Brother Aaron Michaels and others. They were the ones who came back with the Black Panther Party. And they went to Brother Collar and offered him the position to be head of something that they formed. Then resentment developed when Collar, because of his ability to tell Malik what to do, and Malik would do it, even if Collar cussed them, demeaned them, or anything else. I mean, we sit in a room, we down in Dallas at Dr. Sims' house with Chuck D, myself, Sister Phyllis, Stickley, and Collar. It was after Collar was shot. We sit down there, and he tells Malik something to do. Malik didn't do it. He cut Malik down like a piece of trash. Malik just said, yes, sir, and went and did it. And that reminded me of what a snitch do to stay close. Collar never cussed at me, never disrespected me. We even disagreed about some shit. We found a way to work on disagreement. But never have I seen him undermine somebody and then take that. You know, and anytime you got an open organization, you know, so now I call down, they finally take Collar to the hospital. They call Brother Akbar, he shows up. They call Brother Hashim. Hashim tells me, well, I knew Hashim from Dallas for the Black Think Tank. He had a different name then. He was Steve Washington. In fact, Steve Washington was with Khaled when he got shot at Riverside. He came up to drive the car. He was driving the car with Khaled coming from New York down to Atlanta. Yeah, he was on Donahue with him. And then there was Dr. Sims with Donahue with him. While they were at Donahue, Dr. Sims' wife was murdered in the bathtub. Then, Dr. Sims, who is now dead, got this strange cancer and shriveled down to 50 pounds, and he died. In fact, I tell you, everybody ever been with Steve is dead. Everybody that ever been with Brother Hashem is dead. He destroyed a lot. He called me up and said, Steve, he said, Brother Steve, you know I want to get with you. I said, not living you won't. You got a bad track record, brother. Everybody you have been with is dead. And I'm not going nowhere. I'm the mop-up man. I'm the last leg in the sense of reclamation. I know my role. I'm getting ready. I knives are sharp. I ain't going where you going. And in a very critical moment, I got the tape. He said, Steve, I called him in Atlanta. He said, Steve, you know Brother Khaled would want you to investigate what happened to him. That's why I'm going to tell you what I'm going to tell you. He spills all the beans. I put it on tape. By the next day, they didn't got to him. He said, Steve, you got to forget everything I told you about my brother. In the name of Khaled, I ain't. It's on the tape. I usually carry the tape. I put the tape in, let it play. You hear him talking about, we ate at the Popeyes. So that when you hear the special, the K case, when I'm talking about Khaled, we in this debate, Malik say, Khaled didn't eat there. He didn't eat there. He didn't eat there. What Malik, what Hashem was with him. He know exactly what he ate. And Khaled, they say, had high blood pressure. Say Khaled died a natural death because he had high blood pressure. Okay. But when you look at that Friday tape, he don't look like he getting ready to explode in 2 days. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. He don't have Monday night. He goes into a coma before Monday night is over. Finally, by 8 a.m. that morning, they get him to the hospital. Have a testimony from Brother Hiram, who was the only brother to stand posted him in the hospital, that was flooded with whites who were working in there on it, closing the door. But when they first took him to the first hospital, the paramedics who showed up, anybody know the name of the two paramedics who picked up Brother Khaled? Okay, that's called the Lovers of Khaled question. That's how I know who loved Brother Khaled. Who took the time to find that out. How many of y'all in here love Khaled? All right, they're still working. We still find out their names. We have approached them. We had to pull a little drama on to get them to talk. They didn't want to talk. But they were very straight about saying, we arrived at the scene to treat someone who had been listed as having food poisoning. Man throwing up, We get him to the hospital. Finally, we get him to the hospital. The hospital, they say, this man's having a brain aneurysm. And we don't have no brain equipment. We can't handle him. We can't take him. And we got to transport him to another hospital. But we got one more problem. We don't have an ambulance with brain equipment to transfer him to another hospital. So we sat there for 5 more hours. Now, all this time, black folks don't even know Khaled down. They don't even know he's down. Funky's had that body for half a day before we even got to him. So then he finally gets to a hospital in Marietta, Georgia, Whiteville. And the hunky suspiciously don't say a word. Don't say there. Don't say shit about it. Don't say guess what. That's why I do have to live with him on it. But some hunky told all the rest of the monkeys, shut up. Be quiet. Make them wait. Our people are in position. They will say he died of natural causes. 53 is not a natural cause for death. No matter how sick you are. I know about 3 weeks ago, Mr. Farrakhan slapped the shit out of Malik. We were at the press conference, National Press Club, and the minister wouldn't pay attention to him, so brother kept standing up trying to answer questions. All the white press there. He could go on his trip overseas. He wanted certain things done and said. And the brother, I'm from Black Panther News. All right, Mr. Say, settle down. He talked to call on George Curry, National Black Publisher. Calls on Clarence Page at the Chicago Tribune. He's trying to brother something to work with. I'm not ready to say, man, sit down. So then finally the minister lets the brother ask the question. Malik pushing him. He said, we want to know, what do you think of Shimon Peres, Arafat, this and that? Malik, and the minister said, I'm not going to answer that because I'm going to negotiate and I'm going to tell you my opinion of them. Because I want to negotiate, I have no opinion of them. Why would you imagine that? He just pulled the brothers down. So by that night at the rally, Malik wasn't getting no attention. So he waits. I got this on tape where the minister's wife, because he moves past, and Malik jumps and grabs the minister, and then moves stopping him by grabbing Malik and pulling down on the minister. This got bags on him. He's doing a lot better now than he was. Doing a lot better now. Had a great trip. But the brothers had to pull him off. I got this picture of Malik all over the minister, just squeeze him in the middle. Let go. Everybody said, all right, Mr. Okay. Left on the house at Willie Wilson Church. I got it on tape. The brother from the final call shot it all. I got it in still and in video. Just to be clear about it. Because the minister didn't like it. And the minister said he had a private closed-door meeting about Brother Khaled. April 1st, the year after Khaled died in February. In April, he had a closed-door meeting where he spoke about Brother Khaled, his personal feelings about reconciliation, seeing Khaled in the airport, they were trying to work things out. And he had wrote Khaled a letter before the first Million Youth March, which I have a copy of. I even have Khaled reading me the letter over the phone. And we spent 4 hours going over every little detail of that letter. But one of the key things he said, which Khaled repeated on that tape, the last speech of Khaled, the minister says, Brother Khaled, I named you. You are just as I saw you in the beginning. You are Khalifa Khaled, the warrior. He goes through the whole, and Khaled had to teach me some things about Islam, because I didn't know a lot of the technical things, and the fighters and this and that. So as we go through the letter, he had to explain it to me so that I understood it, where he and the minister understood the language. And Khaled cried as he read the letter. And I know even Peter Noel did a story about Khaled riding the train in New York to go pick up the letter from FedEx. And the minister talks about sending Khaled that letter. And the letter had a warning in it. And it had some other insights and how he did this for his own good and this and that. And but the minister put this line in the letter. He said, Brother Khaled, I want to remind you, you are no longer in the mosque, but you are still in the nation. So on the last speech, now Khaled did the last speech on a Friday. His speech about 6 months before that was called No Holds Barred. And I mean, he's cutting at the minister, Wafdi Muhammad. I mean, he's ranting and raving, no holds barred. He's pissed. He's fired up. But by this, and before he dies, he's feeling love for the minister. He done bumped into him twice in the airport, and he says, I want to tell you, those of you who wondering where I am with my spiritual teacher, I want to remind you what he told me. I may not be in the mosque, but I'm still in the nation. Now, at that point, Hunky's got to decide if they want that relationship. Now, what's really deep is that the minister started getting a little sick, and it got treacherous for a little bit. I remember writing an awful story this brother wrote. Brother Jabril, the traveler, wrote a real awful story in the final call about the minister being so sick he couldn't keep his head up, and it was things you just don't put in no damn paper. Just don't put no strategic data like that in the public. And I was offended by it because if you're trying to save somebody, that's not the way you save somebody. You know, he had the prostate cancer. Mrs. daughter is a nurse at Howard University Hospital. They there where my ex works as a supervisor in the emergency room, my daughter's mother. And the minister goes there for treatment for dealing with the prostrate and so forth and so on. But for a while they got real sick. And there was a part in that letter where he told Brother Collins, if anything ever happened to me, I will expect you to do what I trained you to do. That's to come back in here and mop it up. Mop it up. He put their claws in there to Collins. Only you could do what could be done if things got as bad as I would never want to imagine it. And I have to keep reiterating that to Collins because as he was going through the letter, he saw all of the warnings and everything, which was true, but there were some other things in the letter that were far more subtle. You know, he had this one line, and they said, I'll tell you the story that I was told by Elijah Muhammad, told me this story about Malcolm. And he's trying to tell Malcolm to sit down and be cool a minute. So he said, Colin, I'm telling you, like he told Malcolm, sit down and be cool a minute. And you may ask me why I give you that warning. He said, so that Muhammad does not have to kill you. He didn't mean that a Muhammad would kill him, but in context, that death would become upon him in certain circumstances if he wasn't more careful. So when the minister does his closed door session, he brings this letter up because it was a private letter from him to Collins, 4-page, typewritten, signed letter to Collins before that first Million Youth March where there were over 400,000 people in attendance. I mean, it was from 118th to 125th, and there were thousands couldn't even get up in there. Anybody here that was there? The Million Youth March in New York, the first one? Baba, did you get inside the barricade? People was as far as you could see. There were people down the side streets couldn't get close enough. People couldn't get up in 125th Street. They had closed the subway down because they were going to use it for incarceration in case it got necessary. And I watched them white police back up, be scared when the fighting came. I spoke right before Collins spoke. And Collins was holding, waiting, watching the helicopters, watching the military. And I watched him militarize 400,000 people. He said, stand where you are. I want those who would to step forward, to unhook them barricades. You can hear all these barricades unhooked. Because the big steel barricades they got in New York, where they hooked together for crowd control. And they were for blocks long. And you could hear them damn gates unraveling. You could see people going, no, I want this. I want some of this. You could see people jack in. I'm going to fight. They got guns, helmets, mace. They had all this other shit on them. And the riot things, and the tasers, and the whole works. But people were still willing to fight them for Brother Collins. Still willing to fight. And that was interesting. When shit broke out, we all went down the back of the stage. Malik jumped out the front. You'll see Malik in the front. I got on videotape, looking in the back, trying to see what's going on back there. But he jumped out the front by his skin. Not everybody else who went down the back stairs. Some pissy shit. Real pissy shit. So here we go. Collins finally gets to the hospital by that morning. White's in there working on him. He's in a comatose state. He's never alive, never talks. Sister Karen goes to the hospital. She calls me crying. I said, what's wrong? Sister, she said, Collins moved. She said, I saw his damn leg move in the bed. All the medics get down. They tell me, see Collins' eyes fluttering. Now, there was a brother named Chaka Khan who was Black United Front, who was one of Conroy Worrell's best friends. And Khan had a stroke, went to the hospital, was in a coma. His wife called me to come. In fact, Sister Charlene, that's Chaka Khan's daughter. Sister Charlene was head of the sisters in the nation. And when I got there, he was in a comatose state. He wasn't supposed to be woke. But I asked him, did you vote for Jane Byrne? If you didn't, lift your left foot. That foot went boom. And I told Miss Gann, I said, I don't know how to help him, but he's still alive, sister. He's still in there. He's still alive. And you know, they had that one person stayed on coma. They kept him on the table like 17 years. Y'all see that one that they kept on there? I actually, see, y'all look at me, I don't believe that shit. But there was a family that didn't unhook this one woman. She stayed on there for either 7 or 17 years in a coma. And she came out. Came out of it. I don't know what. I don't know if the brain or the body repaired itself or what. But she came out. Harold Washington. They put him on them life supports and shit when he went down. And then they unplugged him. Collar was unplugged on that Saturday. Not to say he would or wouldn't come back. They told me he had them holes all in there, cut all in the back of his head to run the fluids and this and that. And at one point, and mathematics when they said, man, he ain't hooked to shit. They got him looking like he hooked to some stuff. And I got all this various commentary from people, but I called Malik, I called Brother Hashim, I called Brother Michael Muhammad at the hospital, and they told me everything they could at that moment. Everybody's trying to get to the bottom of it. Yeah, I'm sorry, what's it? Woosie Community Service. Wose. 8924 Holly Street, East Oakland. All right. It's what? Oh, he'll be here on Sunday. He's here on Saturday. Okay, I got you. I got you. Okay. All right. All right. Straight? All right. So, long story short, Lil Farrakhan, the key is called was from Khaled's ex-wife, the sister who's the mother to Lil Farrakhan. She's in Phoenix. She called me and told me a lot of bad things about Khaled, and I deserved to die, and fuck Khaled, and this and that, which was bitterness out of a relationship. You know, we'll kill each other over cheating on somebody. We don't kill white people. We reason with them. But we'll kill somebody we say we love. That's usually what we hurt the most. It's just a pathological thing people do sometimes. And, we investigate where sister went last night when we wasn't with her. We investigate the shit out of that. We'll drive, follow, and go to a place. Or sister investigate brother's pockets, wallet, anything else. We in his shower. These things we do to each other, but we don't do them to the others. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just dealing with a pathology. And part of that pathology says we're disproportionately able to harm people we know. Even murder statistics are more people are murdered by people they know than by strangers, like 70 to 30. That's a plus 40. That's dangerous. So they bring Malachi York doctors in. When you hear this tape, the K case, I got one. I still have one. Right. They bring the K. They bring Malachi York's doctors in, and they get all these other. They call Dr. Ben Carson, and all of these people are called. Their facts, the college brain scans and all that. But he was already dead then. So when you hear Malik say, Khaled received state-of-the-art medical treatment, we have Malachi York's doctors. We had that famous doctor you all know him, Ben Carson. And he pumps up all these people we say saw Khaled. But they couldn't do anything by that time. Dead. They took him out of that house. Waited until 13 hours to kill just like Khaled. But they changed the focus from that moment and making like Khaled was in a position that he was just sort of woke, sort of asleep. He could have been helped, and he slipped, we lost him. Not that at all. And so it was strange things going on in the hospital. The whites acted strange. The bank right there in the hospital, the white bank agreed to become the Khaled Memorial Fund Bank, which was bullshit some more. Lil Farrakhan called me. Steve, who I know him well. Steve, why are you saying that my dad was murdered? You got to stop that, man. You got to stop that. My dad... Malik and them said they did everything they could. I said, little brother Farrakhan, it's not true. And whatever they tell you now will only be done to pacify you. Lil Farrakhan will get the windfall of the sale of that house, but he couldn't receive it until he's 18. That was in trust. But that first wife taught me a lot of stuff about the new wife, who was not legally his wife because he married her in Africa and not in America. So he was sort of like his community wife. She should make about $70,000, $80,000 for TD Jakes selling shoes and stuff. So there was a certain level of financial stability there that Khaled could utilize. And she was the only one that wasn't African-centered. She's just sister, Not that that's bad at all. So anyway, so the sale of the houses and all that would have went down, and the farm would have been set up. Sister Malika was moving down there to set it up. I have a tape of Brother Lukman and Sister Malika. Very strong evidence about the last moments. Sister Malika was one of the only 5 people to be with Khaled on the weekend that he died. The weekend that he died, when he was in New York, only 5 Panthers showed up. 3 came with him, 2 from New York. When the Panthers are thinking they stop and be from speaking in New York, there's about 80 Panthers on the stage. But it wasn't 80 Panthers. Khaled's speech the weekend before he died. But they all gonna kick Coley ass, because Coley put that shit out. January 15th to 22nd issue, front page, Black Power. You can get it up on their website. You can read that story. You see how awful it is. Mentions Khaled twice, once negative and once super negative. Mentions Farrakhan as the teacher of Malik, as if there was no Khaled. And it ends with just real nasty conversation. Promoting Malik over Khaled. And so there's a tape with Brother Michael and them on the stage being challenged by Automatics over what happened in Atlanta. Anybody seen that tape? There'll be a tape. There was a tape in March, as he called it, in February and March. I'm supposed to come to New York to tell what I found in my investigation of what happened in college. And they all show up, hopefully going to kick Copley ass. And as I told Automatics, he doesn't have a military. They have concerned citizens. But I wasn't going there because it really wasn't set up for what it was I wanted to do. And so I released a statement about an Assassination Prevention Bureau, which he copied 1,000 times and gave to everybody in the room. And those people, in fact, I saw Brother Michael was with Malik when first time I saw Malik since this whole threat and arrest was at the press conference of Mr. Farrakhan. I'm bending down to sign in. Damn, Bala. You didn't even have a chance to run from it. You didn't have no time to think about it. You didn't see me. I'm signing in. So I look up and got him and all the pamphlets with him. I didn't see Brother Michael was in the group with him, who was a young brother who I knew very well, was in Norfolk, Virginia, promoted a lecture of me to come to Norfolk, and was instigating a lot of the garbage. But he was too ashamed to say anything to me, and they all sat behind me at the press conference. But he never said one word. He even tried to give a chance for me to get eye contact with him, because he knew what a violation he had committed in promoting his false prophet. And so, that tape is the only discussion publicly about what happened to Khaled, and that tape with Michael and Automatics. And in that meeting, when Alton goes to say what he saw, he went to the hospital. He's from Georgia. He talked about it, and Michael's tried to snatch the microphone from him. So they had to just suspend the meeting. They had to stop the meeting. The people had gotten together. They got up on the stage, was going to fight the Panthers off the stage. And the brothers who had come, these are brothers from the nation who had come in down clothes, all had knapsacks and other things to defend the brothers against what was on the stage. And even Minister Farrakhan, when he gave his tribute to Brother Khaled in closing, he said he resented the fact that he died and was buried in the name of a group that was named after an animal. Now, there's a Muslim funeral, which is done one way, and then there's a regular funeral, or should I say a processing of the body. And he wasn't given a Muslim funeral, which the minister was violated by because he was a Muslim. And I remember during that time for the college, right after Khaled's death, when Malik and I were talking, I asked him about, did you think Khaled would have went back to the, oh, hell no, he won't go no damn nation. He was a Panther forever, blah, 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 blah. But I know where Khaled's heart was, especially after that 3 weeks before his death, he wouldn't talk to them because he felt he was being muscled, you know. And it's just real, it's a real testament to our lack of concentration and how much we can be easily misled. Now, the story comes out, Khaled Muhammad dies of natural causes. Senator Cloverdale of Georgia was one of the only known people to have this medical mystery Khaled had, which was literally an explosion in his head. When the doctor described the level of aneurysm that he had, he compared it to Senator Cloverdale, who died mysteriously in Georgia maybe about 2 months before Khaled did, as if there's something they got there that works real effectively. So time passed, and they started having Khaled rallies, and they tried to raise money for Khaled. Various cities like here, I saw your tape from here, you had tribute to Khaled, etc. But nobody really dug deep into the death question. Not one person ever has asked to see any of the information that I assembled. I know everybody would want to hear it if I told it, but it isn't just revealing the information. It has to be an operation because you have to become the jury. Once the sentence is made, there has to be execution. I don't know if the African people are ready for the process. Now, when the threats came down, called up a couple of people, we ordered up the hardware, we fortified the locations, and we waited for penetration. I would have killed the brother if he had come anywhere near my child. There's no doubt I'd have fucked him up. I gave a note to his mama. I would have fucked her up if he had come anywhere near my child. I'd have wiped out everything he stood for. There's been no doubt about that. We would have done that. And we still got to deal with it. It ain't went away. If it's Collard, it could be offend somebody else. It ruined the whole operation. Went down the drain. And Brother Collard, he knew he'd live forever. That brother said, man, I don't give a fuck what happened. I ain't never gonna die. And the way he handled that day at the Million Youth March, the way the fight went down, the way he fought, how cleverly he talked loud when the helicopters got low, made people say, hey, power, so that they didn't get distracted by the helicopters that were so low. I could see the honky in the thing going, fuck you. As they were spraying shit out the side of the helicopter, which was disabling gas. But shit didn't stop nobody on the ground. Everybody fought. And I watched police. I got film of the police. Police with all their sticks. The fight was going on in the front line. The police in the second tier and the third tier was back there with the club doing this. Because no police, and I watched it very strategically in the Iranian Revolution, which is a model for revolution. Ayatollah Khomeini was banned from Iran, but all he did was every week send in a tape. And everybody went in their private little places and heard Khomeini tape. He in France. And he said, now on that day, I want everybody to go downtown, don't do shit until I get there. And they went downtown Tehran and just stood there. And the Shah, the military, and everybody came out and they started shooting a little bit. They stopped the shit. I got 42 bullets. The 43rd person won't kick my ass. And they dropped their guns and surrendered when the people wasn't even fighting. They just refused to be punk and play. Leadership that's false is predicated upon tolerance of the victim. It's the victim's back that makes it possible. When they start burning tires on collaborators in South Africa without dropping the charges, without finding them not guilty, without exonerating them, redeeming them, or anything, they just let Mandela out of jail. Just let him out. Just let him out. Because collaborators' death was a signal that the next stop were the principals. You kill their spies, you wipe out their web of protection, you whip the alligator's ass in the moat protecting the castle, and the king's ass is grass. And the king can count. I'm down to 3 alligators. And niggas that jump the bridge and kick them alligators in the ass, say, you know what? I ain't the leader no more. I'm gonna drop my shit. Look at America. Went down there and tried to ride out Brother Chavez out of Venezuela. Chavez won. He went to Libya. He went to Castro. He went to all the people American hate and formed an alliance. So I'm gonna fuck the oil companies. Went in there, changed leadership with the oil companies. Started making a move, trying to make the old, because they fought all of that Contra and everything. They fought to stop that quote impregnation of anti-Americanism. Got all down into Venezuela, and they sucked him into a coup. The head of the Venezuelan, what do you call that? We call them business groups. Chamber of Commerce. The head of the Venezuelan Chamber of Commerce ends up replacing brother in Venezuela, Chavez, saying that he resigned. And he didn't. And America paid Venezuela to have a democratic election, and Chavez won it. But America didn't like that shit, so they set him up for a coup. And they took him out, didn't they? Didn't they take out Chavez? What happened? Hey, what happened, sister? He's back in. Yeah, he's back in. Everybody know how he got back in? Yeah. Well, how he got back in?
The people got him back in.
Right. But who got the power? The power. I don't care who the leader is. I don't care how many OEO boys he got to protect him. The people make it so. Now the people got to wake up. People got to figure out that they are the power, and everybody else leans on the people's power, sucks into the people. power, suck up the people money under the guise of we did it for the people. So they took Chavez out on Monday. He was back on Wednesday because they said, well, he said, the dude dissolved the Congress, dissolved the courts, dissolved everything. Wasn't nobody left but him in America. And then I said, man, what is he? So he said, I'm right, you're right. I'm going to bring the vice president in. Vice president said, if you hand me that goddamn leadership, I'm going to go get that goddamn Chavez, I'm going to make him the president. And they handed it to him. He said, get military, if you with me or not, go get Chavez. And they flew him back in there. And the people went to the streets. Millions of people. Everybody. See, you ain't never had no rally with everybody. Last time we would convene a million was Marcus Garvey. Last time we went on that level, it was Garvey who was walking, no radio, no television. Right? He could do it. People walking, nurses, doctors, everybody walking for Garvey. And it's just unfortunate that we didn't get to make that walk for Brother Collard. But Collard has to live in all of us. And the climate has to be set to bring on the information, to bring on the judgment, which will bring execution. You will decide if you want to hear evidence. When you do, we will convene four corners of this country. The plan has been written. See, I ain't gonna be fooled by it. I watch Harold Washington die, and shit, I was one of the lowest paid people in the government. I watched niggas make 170,000 off of his leadership, who wouldn't even invest in what happened to him. They didn't give a fuck. I got a job. And they kept their jobs. And then 1 or 2 years later, the white man came in and took their jobs back. And 1 or 2 years later, they lost the house they bought off their Harold. They lost the car they got off their Harold. They lost those things and come running to me with no job. And I told them, if only you had invested into what happened to Harold, you'd still have a job. You wouldn't touch leadership if you could trace it to what killed it. They wouldn't have come back. They would have laid low and waited another day. So they got what they was like. Daley's the mayor of Chicago, and he's the dumbest damn monkey next to Bush. And I want to take you back to Bush, where they asked him, way back before he was president, who runs Pakistan? And he didn't know. And it turned out that Afghanistan and Pakistan became the area that he messed with first. He didn't know who ran it. They fumbled and stumbled and stuff. Saturday Night Live ridiculed him. In fact, there's even a website that got this thing on Bush. It's cartoon-like. It's hilarious, showing how stupid he is. And he got no soul. He's in hell, and things will change. That wore me out. Every time I go to that college shit, I get fucked up because I get pissed off. And I know as much as black people loved him, they weren't going to love him enough to find out what happened. I know that. I didn't give a lecture for 6 months after Collard died because of what went on with me and my family. I jeopardized a lot of shit. On the first time I decided to go out, May, on a private conference of the Garvey School in Atlanta, Nia came down there. Brother, what's up? Where you been? Came down there. It was an education conference. And that restarted the reconnection, which is how I got up here last July when I brought my daughter with me, which is how I got here now. And so it's the moral to the story, and that's about, do we really mean what we say? Are we really into this, or is this something we do when we get off work? You know, because once you go to work, once you get home, once you cook, feed the family, there's not a lot of time left for liberation. But if only you didn't go to work, liberation would be the priority. You might think you need money. You need what money buys. You need food, you want transportation. You may at time to time want entertainment or luxury. Those are things that money buys, but you don't need money to get them. I order up things I need. I don't have money to buy them. I say, hey man, I need, like, well, here come Jab. Well, I guess I gotta do SteveCopley.com. I bought those things. I ain't been big on the internet or computer or none of that. I ain't like none of that shit. But I'm gonna set it up now so I can talk to those who got that. Because after we were slashers and dashers, and now we're welders and weavers, we're gonna weave some shit together to take it up to a high level. But there's a standard for getting in the weave. Just can't anybody somebody to make the greatest thing ever happen. Something is going to happen in our favor. I don't quite know how it's all going to unfold, but we got to be prepared. That whole thing about going down to the Red Sea, don't worry about how it's going to part. Just be ready to haul ass when it open up. Something like that will happen in our behalf. I ain't going to do weather theology like it's going to be a hurricane or a thunderstorm or something like that. I ain't going to call it. It's going to be the will of the people. And it look like it's even going to be some white people. Not that they're going to be in our core group, but they're going to be as dissatisfied. We fight for a black mayor in Cincinnati election 3 years away. White man came out saying, I'm for a black mayor in Cincinnati. And I told the blacks, don't be ashamed of being for a black mayor, because whites will call for you when they've had white enough. Things will change. Little white kid, anybody see the movie Undercover Brother? See, that's how many, raise your hand if you saw Undercover Brother. Because that was one of the most underrated movies around. It's about an underground liberation movement. It wasn't Undercover Brother for the police, it was Undercover Brother. They opened the movie up with brothers fighting to get in the bank so they could remove the mortgage debt of niggas at the bank. Now they go to the barber shop, sit in the barber's chair, and the damn chair go down below to the underground where Smart Man and Conspiracy Brother and Sister Girl are down there training for a revolution against whites. And the man who's the white image in the movie is mad at white people because they acting too black. So they decide the people gotta act more white for whites to rule, because white kids gone black. So he decided to put it where all white people could get it. Where'd they put it at, sister? Where'd they put it in the fried chicken. They went and got Billy D. Williams, who was like Colin Powell. He was going to announce for president, say, this man gonna win for president. So the undercover revolution was going to help him. And all of a sudden he starts acting real weird and comatose. There's something wrong with him. So found out he come out with the General's chicken, looking like Kentucky Fried. Talking about you get a nappy meal. So they assigned Undercover Brother to infiltrate the man to find out what happened to the general. So he had to go to training like James Bond, Smart Man, give him all kind of gadgets. Said his Cadillac was hooked up with stuff. And so he put a little hot sauce on his watch. So to be infiltrating white folk, you had to eat mayonnaise. You had to know how to eat mayonnaise, so he had to shoot his hot sauce on the mayonnaise so that he could neutralize getting white. So the white man said, we'll stop that Undercover Brother. We'll get black man's kryptonite. The white she-devil. That's what they call her in the movie. The white she-devil. That's what they called her in the movie. Denise Roberts. So here come the white she-devil, gonna bump into Undercover Brother and make an encounter. And then she takes him home and makes him a sandwich on white bread. And then she dips it in the mayonnaise and holds it up to his face. And the camera gets right on the mayonnaise. They're like, yeah. Well, it was a heavy flick. Black folks missed it. They missed it. They didn't know what was in the flick. It was a down-low flick about an underground group of blacks who fought for liberation. It was real deep. Real deep. Monkeys let it come out, took it on away. Spike Lee brother did that movie. He did the movie. And it was real deep. If you get a chance to see it at the $1 show, when it come out in video, see Undercover Brother. And after I walked out that show, I said, boy, I know what Hunky's gonna do now. They're gonna start going to the barber shops. They're gonna try to see if niggas really got something. And we really do. And one day, it won't be undercover, it'll be on the cover. All right, I appreciate being here. Thank you, sister. Thank you, family. Thank you, Brother Jim. Brothers for helping the brothers. Thank you, brothers, for having us here. If you hit up SteveCopley.com, you will see it'll just say that the website has been purchased. Check right this website down, TruthInTheMedia.com. I said it wrong. TruthInTheMusicIndustry.com. I said it wrong. That's a domain name. We bought all of those. That's what we'll start putting the Jackson stuff on. We'll start dealing with the youth in the music industry. Give me about 7 to 10 days. We start putting stuff up on the site. All I gotta do is say go.
Thank you, Bob. Lecture over. I appreciate y'all. I would normally be running to the tape, but the damn thing don't tape over there. There's a tape over there called Post 911 Trauma. That's $7.